Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, good morning. It's a Monday, but we hit a milestone. 100,000 Rumble followers. Do you guys know what that means? I'm going to shut the hell up about it. How about that? Do you guys like that? You're like, thank God. That's what you deserve. Me not harping at you. Me not browbeating you. Thank you for allowing me. Hey, Murtuck. Thank you for allowing me to. That was a very important milestone to get there before our anniversary on September 7th. 5 years. You guys got in underneath the deadline, below the deadline, under the deadline.
September 7th is a Monday.
Uh-huh.
It's Labor Day.
Guess who's going to be laboring? Pretty sure it's going to be us.
This guy.
This girl.
Did you get me an anniversary gift?
No.
Isn't 5 years a big deal?
I don't know. What is 5 years?
I don't know.
Is that meat? Is that steak?
Is
Is that Chef IQ? What's that?
That's a good question.
I mean, I could get you.
Gold's 50. I don't know.
Silver's
What's 5?
25,
Plastic?
5 is, to go. Something
Maybe
to
that's
go.
A Chef IQ or...
You guys, it's the 25% off sale Slush Ease. Get the Slush Ease from Chef Man. Chefman.com/Wendy. Look, I don't even have to tell you what this thing does, but I will. It's amazing. I have it at home. I have not used it. I think I'm going to set it up this weekend. Maybe we'll see. 25%
What are you
off.
looking at me for?
By the way, and this is the skinny. We put that Wendy, chefman.com/Wendy, promo code Wendy, and anything on their page, and it comes back with 25% off, which is
like the espresso machine.
Fan-flippin-tastic. The Slush Ease. This is not just some throw in some ice cubes and push a button. This is, you don't need ice. It does it for you. The whole thing holds 90 ounces. This is for parties, for weekends, for celebrations, for Thanksgiving. It doesn't matter.
For Tuesday.
It doesn't matter. Yep. And it's pretty remarkable. Milkshakes, frozen margaritas, frappes, those things. All those things. It's chefman.com. It's called Slush Ease. And you'll see it. Promo code Wendy, 25% off. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's fantastic.
The oven.
Everything they do, like literally, if you were to say, choose a company, it would be hard for me. It would be Chef Man, Chef IQ, Chef anything, and probably Juvenon.
In what?
Juvenon.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, are you out?
I am. I actually took my last 2 this morning.
I know. You know what? Who thinks about you all the time? Who puts you first? This girl. This girl. Again, honestly, I might as well.
Yeah.
Brock,
I
stay on. Stay on. Why do you take it? How do you feel?
Because it gives me energy. It gives me energy. It gets me not napping. I told the story last week. I have a friend that I didn't even know he took it. And he's like, man, that Blood Flow 7. I feel like I'm ready to just tear up the entire gym when I'm there.
Bloodflow7.com. Whether you're a bodybuilder or you're 85 years old and you want to get more pep in your step.
Or your body needs built.
This is it. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. 30% off always. Your stamina, your strength. And Brock is right. You don't hit that wall in the afternoon. You don't collapse and need a nap. And then at night, you sleep like a
boulder.
That's true. That is true. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Let's get them out of the way. We have a packed deck of sponsors today. I'm so proud of you guys. It's because of you that they knocked down our door. So thank you.
And continue to.
Mm-hmm.
And people who never thought about advertising talk about advertising.
You've gotten some people in your ear recently chatting you up about advertising.
I have.
And we have a couple products that we are extraordinarily excited about. extraordinarily excited about. And that's what we're gonna be hopefully dropping on you.
And everybody say a prayer for Demanda. I know you guys know who she is.
She's having what, her gallbladder out?
She had surgery this morning. I don't know if she's out.
It's the worst procedure ever.
Is it outpatient?
Oh, yes, it's terrible.
Oh.
Mine was awful. I'd rather have another child than go through that because they have to inflate you with the gas, right?
Okay.
And then they have other things where they do it all and they suck it out. It's very fascinating. It's not complicated, but the recovery afterwards, wowza. Day one, you're like, woohoo. Day two, oh, God.
Well, she better be ready for thumbnail tomorrow.
God. I probably shouldn't have gotten up and started raking. Swear to God, that's what I did. Hey, ding-a-ling.
Well, not sticks.
Ding-a-ling. I couldn't bend over.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at me.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we are converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hey!
Well, hello, America. Greetings to all of you. Happy Monday here at the Wendy Bell radio program. Delighted to speak to you. No matter where you're listening across the beautiful fruited plain, what's just easy. It's comfortable. It's familiar. It feels like home because it is. It's common sense conservatism delivered by a mom. And I'm excited to be here. I'm Wendy. I love this country. I love you for being a part of it. I know you feel the way I do about America. Today, we're going to talk about some things that are extraordinarily disappointing, but I think we do it in at least an entertaining enough way that you don't want to throw punch too many people and throw them down the stairs. All right. That's going to be my promise to you. We won't push you over the edge. Welcome home, everybody. Delighted that you are here. WendyBellRadio.com. Follow us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, I've specifically avoided a particular story that has been in the news the last week. There's certain things I can talk about. There are other things I have to blank out because it's just not, I don't have it. I can't let darkness sometimes invade the light. And this Lindsay Clancy story, I can't even get into the details of it because it's so disturbing. If you're not familiar, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a quick thumbnail because we have a segment coming up. This is a young woman, a young mom who admitted to strangling her 3 young children, killing her 3 young children. And she heard voices and she struggled with postpartum issues, which are real, not saying they're not. And as disturbing as her story is, I remember, what was it, 26 years ago, 30 odd years ago, 32 years ago, Susan Smith. You guys remember that piece of work? Drove her kids into a lake and drowned them. I don't know what to say about people suffering. I wish they didn't. We grieve for innocent people who are lost at the hands of people who lose their minds for whatever reason. I'm not here to talk about the reason. I'm here to talk about the effect. There is a gaggle, and has been a gaggle, of women who've been gathered outside this courtroom where this Lindsay Clancy woman is going to face two verdicts. She's either going to spend her life in prison, or she's going to be found mentally insane, which we can all say you are if you kill your 3 children. And she'll be put in some kind of an institution with the possibility of release someday. That option, to me, is off the table. But I'm not here to talk about what she did, how she ruined a family, how she murdered, in her own words, her 3 children. It's the women outside who are fangirling her, who are fawning over this, who are dressed like the moron Democrat chicks in Congress who decided to wear white. All wear white because that was the sign of solidarity when President Trump was speaking. It's just bizarre. It doesn't make sense. We're grown-ups. We're adults, right? But to go out and to celebrate and to literally swoon over a woman who murdered her children, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost our freaking moral compass. What happened to these people? And they're not alone. These women bring their children with them and celebrate. Do they celebrate Lindsay Clancy? Or do they celebrate exposure that maybe SSRIs and other drugs that we absolutely cook our children in, that they have side effects, and that there are a lot of people walking around who are bat crap crazy? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but there's something going on. The women celebrating, I said to Brock this morning, did you see them? As she was clearly brought into her trial, into the courtroom, and the ladies are swooning like it's the 1950s, the 1960s, whatever it was when the Beatles were around. And the women were like, oh, that's how they're acting when they see a woman who murdered her 3 children. What are we doing? These are the women who stand behind Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey as she signs a bill, like defiantly, proudly signs a bill so that in Massachusetts, full-term abortion is it's a thing. It's lawful. Are you out of your mind? How does that work? How on earth are you standing there smiling? What kind of monster are you? And all the young people out there who celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination, the silencing of a man whose gravest sin was believing that we could actually talk our way out of controversy, that we could be civilized and listen to each other with a modicum of decorum. But in America, that kind of civility is not allowed. That kind of civility gets murdered and celebrated. These are the same people who celebrated Luigi Mangione, a guy who stalked a healthcare CEO, a total stranger, and shot him in the back and killed him on a street. And oh my, people like Taylor Lorenz, formerly of the Washington Post, swooning over how sexy a murderer is. How do we have honest conversations about evil when evil is so proud? I don't know. These are the same people who hunted people down who didn't quarantine during COVID, who tried to destroy actual frontline doctors who dared to speak the truth and try to save our lives and tried to end something that was concocted by a dark little demon of evil who is now fundraising for his legal defense. Fauci, of all people, the highest paid federal employee who's sitting on one hell of a fat pension and a net worth of what, 12.6 million, wants you to bail him out of going beyond a presidential order and fiddling with the virus with the Communist Chinese Party, because that makes sense. And then when everybody got sick, did everything he could to lie, to cheat, to defraud, and to destroy the faith of a country in science. And yet some of these people probably at Lindsay Clancy's trial wearing pink and holding their newborns, who one might argue should probably be removed from their arms. These are the same people who've probably gotten their 9th booster and wonder what it is that's so wrong with their vision. Look, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's attributed to social media, to TikTok, to clicks and likes and follows, and this perverse need for attention and spotlighting and victimhood. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an old-fashioned woman. Tell the truth. Work hard. And love your children, because it's the greatest gift of your life. How now do we explain these American monsters? I don't know. You know, it's common sense versus crazy. Literally, that's where we are. You have a choice. You can be over here where it's common sense, seems normal. And you can be over here where everything is completely indefensible and nutty, right? America needs to follow Florida in its slapdown of socialism, ladies and gentlemen. And Harry Enton's flapping his arms at the big screen to prove it next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I don't know. I would think that my husband would be mortified if I went to a rally for a child murderer.
I would hope so.
Not even a rally, the courthouse. Like that's some new hot destination.
Yeah, get
Let's
a job.
go, honey. What? Do you want to go catch that sale at Marshall's? No. Let's go see this trial. What? Is there ever a sale at Marshall's? I don't know. It's always on sale. I don't understand Hydrolift. I do understand this. If you want to have big, poofy, fluffy, thick, beautiful, luxurious, happy, protein-packed hair follicles, well, is this going to do it for you overnight? No, but look at my hair. It looks pretty, of all those things, fluffy, pretty healthy, pretty big, right? Hydrolift by Purins. Get it. What are you waiting for? I get them 2 times this week. I literally shampoo with this at home, and then I bring it in begrudgingly because I hold it up to you. And then I have to take it back home so I can use it again tomorrow. And I told our handler I want more stat. Get me on an IV drip of Purins Hydrolift. This stuff is great. And the secret sauce, it really is protein. If you have lifeless, frizzled out, limp hair, why not try this? 35% off right now. Wendy is the promo code. Go to Purins. Purins, P-U-R-E-A-N-C-E, Purins.com/no. Just use my name, no / Purins.com. Promo code Wendy, 35% off. It's not expensive to begin with. But, I mean, I don't know if you want it to look quite like this, but maybe somewhere in between might be good for you. I'm not in control of this crazy right now, so that's a fact. That is a fact. Brock, how was your weekend?
It was fine. Demanda is out of surgery.
Oh, so excellent. Did Ryan text you?
No, she did.
She did. It's a pretty quick, I mean, it's amazing.
She said sore but tired.
Oh, yeah.
I told her suck it up and rub some dirt on it and
help
get
us
back
make
to work.
tomorrow's thumbnail.
Yeah.
Stat. I I really did not want to talk about that woman at all. And I don't even have to give you the specifics of the story.
You have to wonder about people. Like you said, how do you have a conversation with someone that thinks she killed her kids?
We're not going along with crazy anymore, you guys.
I don't think any guy out there, any woman out there that sits there and says this isn't real. But for all the women who, I read a thing that says 1 in 7 women put, like, you went that far. Like, why didn't you turn to a parent, a husband, a friend and say, I'm hearing these voices? What friend wouldn't be like, well, don't go see someone, or I'll take the kids so you don't do that? Like, at some point, there's some personal responsibility that comes along with depression and all of that to seek help if you know you're in that state of mind.
We are a compassionate country, but I'm done with excuses.
Yeah.
Like, it's up to us to protect the most vulnerable. In my mind, those are children and the aged. Period. Why do you think your working age is 18 to 64? You're expected to work the working age adult years of your life. Be protected as a child. Be taken care of as an elderly person. 65 is an elderly, but you know what I mean. Where's the protection? It's so baffling to me. It's so baffling to me. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. It's so despicable, though. How could you go there and celebrate supporting this woman? She'll get the help she needs in prison. And if she hears voices, she can be alone. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, we've been too nice. We've been too polite. We've bitten our tongues. I've personally bitten my tongue. I've walked the other way. I've taken the high road more times than I'd like to admit. But to what end? I'm done placating people who have crazy ideas for either this country or our communities, our children, our money, our policies, our medicine. I don't have any more patience. We've got to start saying what needs to be said. You're a freaking nutcase. Nutcase. If you can't call out evil when you see it. I can see it. I just haven't wanted to talk about it. That's got to change. There's something going on in Florida that is very exciting and something I hope Texas is paying attention to. Who knows, Governor Abbott might have to be gone before it happens. Mixed reviews on him, but what have you. There is a very big reddening, if you will, in Florida. Like Ashley Moody, the senator who took over for Marco Rubio when he bounced up into the Secretary of State position, brilliant. She's running, obviously, to win her own full term. And she absolutely smokes it in her primary. And now she's up against this wackadoodle who beat Alexander No Lip Vindman, right? This DSA wacky socialist woman. And here's Harry Enton. He's over at his monitor and he's like, look, Ashley Moody has 101 reasons to love the Democrat Socialists of America because the prediction markets now say the socialist Angie Nixon's primary victory has shot Florida Senator Moody's reelection probability up into the cosmos. Here's Harry. Listen, interesting.
The sun is shining in the Sunshine State, the great state of Florida. And this is a state that, simply put, has been taken off the board for the most part for Democrats. And we're talking about, we'll start off first in that Senate race, that special Senate election, right, where Angie Nixon won that Democratic primary. Ashley Moody is saying, thank you, God. Thank you, God. The chance that the GOP wins the Florida Senate race, according to Couch Prediction Markets, Ashley Moody, it was 84% on Sunday. Look where it is now. A 95% chance, up like a rocket. It turns out that nominating a self-described Democratic socialist in a state like Florida, where there are a lot of, let's say, Cuban refugees is not necessarily the smartest idea. The Democratic Party and those Democratic voters essentially probably taking this race off the board come November.
All right, so they want you to believe that in Texas, you've got James Tallarico, who is doubling down on God being non-binary. And you've got, of course, Ken Paxton. And they want you to believe, though Ken Paxton's up by 1 point, this is going to be a nail biter. Tallarico's bringing in all this money. It's all outside America money, by the way, right? Ken Paxton, not so much. Wait till Elon Musk gets in on this. He says he's going to be writing some pretty big checks to the GOP here, which is huge. But Florida has done what the rest of America needs to do, made its state Democrat proof. Don't take my word for it. There is a monster Republican Party edge over voter registrations under Ron DeSantis in Florida. And hats off to that guy. Ron DeSantis, he went from 150,000 Democrat edge voter registration to a 1.5 million Republican stranglehold. Listen.
I remember back in the day, Florida's diversifying, right? That means it'll become more Democratic. Not the case at all. The state has become considerably more Republican. Look at these party registration trends. Look at this. Back in 2016, Democrats had a 3-point edge in party registration over Republicans. By the time of the 2024 election, look at that. It was an 8-point edge for Republicans. You think that's high? Now it's an 11-point edge for the Republican Party. Republicans have gained in a state that Democrats were hoping to make competitive in the 21st century, become more Democratic. In fact, the exact inverse has occurred. It has become considerably more Republican, and Republicans, simply put, have been winning all of the statewide races, the major statewide races. They haven't even elected a Democratic governor since, 1994 in Lorna Childs? My goodness gracious.
My goodness gracious, he says, what the heck is going on in Florida? Oh, I don't know. I remember during COVID, that's right, they didn't shut down. Businesses stayed open. People weren't forced to wear masks. You did you. You figured out what your barometer was. Where were you on the changing scale of comfort? Because while the media and every blue state, like the one I live in, the Commonwealth of the Land Before Time, Pennsylvania, shutting you down, telling you to be afraid of your neighbors, be afraid of your family, Florida was like, the sun is shining. The sky is blue and the politics are red. Come on down. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Look, this is what we're up against, ladies and gentlemen. They want you to believe that these toss-up Senate seats, these toss-up House seats in these areas, the Democrat Socialists of America are going to make inroads. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Knock it off with the stupid polling. Knock it off with the garbage fake news. And if you're one of those people celebrating a child murderer, shame on you. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Gavin Newsom is America's coward. Did you see what he did yesterday over the weekend? Signing that, Stop Nick Shirley Act. Oh, yeah. Has he heard about the First Amendment? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Literally, if you saw your daughter on that line, the rope line, swooning over Lindsay Clancy, would you not be like, girl, I'm going to fly to you and I'm going to meet you and we're going to have a little conversation because clearly I failed my job as a parent. Clearly. I take that as a personal affront. Brock, you'll love this. So we take the twins to Knoxville and they need a new key for their Ford Explorer. So we go to the Ford dealership there and they make this key fob. They're not affordable, by the way, right? So anyway, that's all I need. Bobby goes, he picks it up, he pays for it. Thanks, Mom. Now Chris and I both have keys for the car that we both share. You're welcome. Text message. What is it?
Key doesn't work.
No, from the Ford dealer.
You want to sell your car?
Yes. Yes, 100%. Hey, you want to come in? We'd happy to give you an estimate right here. It's a Ford Explorer that has 88,000 miles on it. It's a 2017. That's pretty low mileage.
Yeah.
I'm sure they want to see my car.
Of course they do.
$4 million. Anyway. this crazy stuff going on. All right. Tulip blooms. Tulip blooms. You guys used it? I'm going to tell you right now. I always peel after I have some, like a little bit of burning on my skin. Just a little bit, right? Not when I use tulip blooms. Wasn't expecting this. You know, I use the Blue Calm on my neck and my chest, and I use the castor oil. After Patrick told me, he's like, you've got to use castor oil all over your trunk, all over your belly, put it all over you. It absorbs into your skin and has great benefit for your internal organs. I was like, really? Okay. I had no idea that tulip blooms also would keep my skin so nourished it would not peel. That is the story of everlasting moisture from tulipblooms.com. Actually, tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. From the massaging oil to the Tulip Soothe, which is a salve you put on, rub it in if you're sore. Say goodbye. I've used it on arthritic fingers, on my feet, the velour massaging oil. 10% off with my name, Wendy. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I believe we have found our fragrance. And I'm super excited to have my own perfume. So we're going to do something. It's taken me quite a while, but I'm quite fond of it. It makes me feel like it's right. And I've tried quite a few. So we'll be dropping that on you hopefully soon as well. If you're interested in trying it, I'll let you know. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. Guess who's coming over tomorrow?
D in Ireland?
Yes. My boyfriend.
Thought he was coming Friday.
He's coming over tomorrow because Friday doesn't work. Oh, yeah, baby. I'm so excited because not only is Dan Ireland from Ireland Contracting going to set up my landscape lighting, right? And I've got some extra stuff to do. I have 2 light fixtures inside the house that aren't working, and he's going to help me. So I am absolutely giddy. Giddy. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Don't you dare steal Dan from me before tomorrow. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. If you live in Pittsburgh and you need an electrician, that's your guy. Wednesday. That's your guy Wednesday. My guy tomorrow. Love, love, love him. All right. So this whole Stop Nick Shirley thing is amazing. Is anybody else completely flabbergasted by this? I think that's the word I'm going to use. Flabbergasted. They're the ones who tell us that we trample all over the Constitution, that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, and meanwhile, they're trampling all over the freedom of the press. Interesting.
Are you surprised? These are the same people who voted to say sex with a minor
is a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
You know what? A felony's kind of stiff. It's kind of harsh. So
yeah, you're putting them behind. These are also the people who said, if you steal up until $900,
yes,
just put it on your taxes. And because I'm sure they're all
that'll help
making sure their W-2s in line. And
I have a question for you here that this is good for comments.
Ooh.
Tell me where you live, and did you find out when you woke up on Sunday morning that it was officially fall? Saturday, we were at Cedar Point, Joe and I, on our 20th anniversary riding rides. It was beautiful, fabulous. And then Sunday, we woke up and I'm like, dang, that first crispness of the season, that first crisp, cool morning where you're like, oh, fall has arrived in the city of Pittsburgh. Okay, so it's going to be 80s again Wednesday and Thursday. But still, did you guys detect a noticeable change like I did?
I did. I didn't work outside today.
You didn't work outside today?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
This morning.
Oh, it was a little chilly for you. Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Huh. I thought it was just that you were not comfortable sitting out there, what have you, like your leg or back or something.
No.
Good. Let's see if anybody, 162 comments, already 1.09 rumbles. You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
I'm just done with the rain here.
Yes, fall in Michigan. It happened in Phoenix. Big Red, did it happen in Phoenix? Because absolutely happened here. Yeah, fob needs to be programmed by the Ford dealer. You got that right. Leah, thank you for the nice things about my big On the left, they really don't care that you see it all, that you hear it all, that you're aware of it all. They're so used to getting away with whatever it is they need to get away with to either keep making money or stay in power or be in positions of control over you. They don't care that you know that they're illegal and fraudulent as stones. This whole Stop Nick Shirley thing in California is an absolute outrage. You're asking for the Supreme Court to weigh in, and they will. The High Court will have to weigh in. And they're going to push Nick Shirley, a young YouTuber who simply noticed something curious in Minneapolis, that there were a lot of foreign-run daycares and no kids at the daycares. Well, we're not going to investigate the daycares. We're going to investigate Nick Shirley. We're going to stop Nick Shirley. We're going to dox him. We're going to have death threats. We're going to force him to need around-the-clock security wherever he goes, because Nick Shirley is more dangerous to the Democrats and the deep staters than the people who are ripping us off every single day. Imagine that. So J.D. Rucker's website, you know how I love me some J.D. Rucker. Newsom signs the Stop Nick Shirley Act, and California once again chooses darkness over light. Yes, indeed, that is a very appropriate headline. Gavin Newsom put his signature on Assembly Bill 2624 Saturday, locking in what Republicans rightly branded the Stop Nick Shirley Act. The measure expands California's Safe at Home program. Sounds so good, doesn't it? Oh, safe at home. I love being safe at home. Yeah, but not for you. It's for the people who are defrauding the system, to cover employees and volunteers at nonprofits that help people navigate the immigration system, giving them substitute mailing addresses and making it a legal risk to post their images or personal information online if a court decides the intent was to threaten or incite harm. And of course, if you're in California, there's a good chance there's a wacky leftist judge who's ready to throw the book at you. Now, this thing takes effect in October of 2027. We got a year to go. Sponsored by the wife of the top law enforcement officer in the state of California, right? The Attorney General, Rob Bonta, who himself is mired in his own legal nightmare for what? Accepting bribes, allegedly, and using campaign money to fund his legal defense. I'm sure he's a fabulous person, right? As is his wife, who effectively just put a fork legally in any kind of investigative journalism in California. Why would you even care? Like literally, California is the opposite day of Florida. Everything that Florida has done well, California has laid an egg on. And this is a big part of it. Now, that's not really the biggest story of all. It's so discouraging to see grown men, albeit gay ones, and this guy is as gay as they come. Terry Sanchez, who is the chief of staff for Assemblywoman Tina McKinnon in California. So their House representatives, if you will, statewide, are assembly people. There's 80 of them. 60 are Democrats, 20 are Republicans, actually 19, and there's one that's vacant right now. This Terry Sanchez guy is not excited that Gavin Newsom just signed this Stop Nick Shirley law, which prevents Nick Shirley from doing what he does and exposing fraud. He's worried about Nick Shirley's penis size. I cannot give you this as a joke. There is no punchline that makes it funny. It is pathetic. This guy, who's the chief of staff or an assemblywoman in California, printed up flyers. I wonder if he did that on, taxpayer dime, on taxpayer-funded machines, taxpayer-funded ink and paper, to then go out on the street and to harass Nick Shirley as he was trying to interview a Republican assemblyman about the Stop Nick Shirley Act passing. Here's how it goes, and it's extraordinarily ridiculous, embarrassing, juvenile, and predictable of those who are crazy. Listen.
Mia Bonta, do you think her creating a bill that would make it basically illegal, give someone a $4,000 fine for looking into immigration support service providers?
Did you guys hear that Nick Shirley has a small penis, allegedly?
Wow, that's so adult of you.
Did you hear about this? Nick Shirley
you would never
allegedly
seen
has
it.
a small penis. Well, I don't know.
You would
This
never
is
see
what
it.
they're reporting. Have you seen this?
Well, the reports are wrong.
They're reporting. Well, we don't know. Prove me wrong.
No, I'm not. I don't do that.
Prove me wrong. It was good enough for
Well,
Charlie
that would
Kirk.
be illegal.
Prove me wrong.
You don't want to do that.
Well, if
you know?
you consent.
I mean, we are in California. They do support pedophiles.
It's good enough if it's good enough for Charlie Kirk. He's holding up a sign that says allegedly Nick Shirley has a small penis. And he thinks that's, first of all, appropriate. Second of all, defensible. Third of all, he invokes Charlie as though just prove your point is okay. And then gets in the way and like clenches his fists as though he's going to fight Nick Shirley. But if you've ever seen most of it, effeminate men aren't the greatest fighters, I'll just say. And Terry Sanchez is most assuredly effeminate. I don't know why he's parking his white Tesla with a handicapped placard in the parking spots there at the state capitol with a sign on the back that says, "No Elon," right? Make that make sense, Terry Sanchez. But the more uncomfortable part ensues. Listen.
There are news reports happening that Nick Shirley has a small penis. Do you have any comment on Nick Shirley's
Well, I think
allegedly
bold. He
small
comes
penis?
out here.
Alleged small penis.
It's risky for him to be out here. He could be banned or criminalized.
Exactly.
So,
They're
I
trying
don't
to
think
pass
does
law,
having
man.
a small penis, is that a criminal? Are you going to introduce that legislation, Assembly member?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have serious problems in this country. There's no time for that kind of juvenile garbage. That man needs to be fired. He makes $207,000 a year. To go do that to a young man who dared ask questions. That's it. Ask questions. To do more than the media in California have done. That man, Terry Sanchez, chief of staff for a California assemblyman, is still on the job today. Riddle me that. Grow up, Terry. Grow up. It is so off-putting. It is embarrassing. It is below the job. And that is conduct unbecoming at a minimum. Ew. Now, this is interesting because as Gavin Newsom was penning his beautiful signature and laughing and enjoying the moment in the spotlight, I'm going to stop independent journalists from uncovering fraud and abuse in my state. Right? He called Nick Shirley a grifter. Do you guys know what a grifter is? A grifter. It's a person who uses deception, manipulation, or a confidence scheme to get money or other benefits from people. It's a con artist. It's a scammer. The term usually implies dishonesty rather than simply being persuasive or unpopular. You're a con man. Tell me what Nick Shirley has done in exposing hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, not hundreds of billions, but billions of dollars of fraud in Minnesota, in California. Didn't he just go to Cuba? Wasn't he just in Cuba or Venezuela? That's the grifter, not the people that Gavin Newsom is allowing to grift. Anonymous, our friends at Deep Fake Quotes, rather, reminds us the First Amendment, by the way, no matter who's governor and his signature tries to stop it, the First Amendment protects a journalist's freedom to ask questions and to root out fraud. Listen.
The governor of California's press office responded to criticism of AB 2624 with this graphic. Their message, get the facts. Okay, let's get the facts. They ask, does this bill stop citizen journalists from finding fraud? Their answer, no. Does this bill hide fraud? Again, no. But writing no next to a question doesn't answer it. The concern is the chilling effect created when government increases the legal risk of independent investigation. But then the governor's press office does something far more interesting. It calls Nick Shirley a grifter. It accuses him of lying to people, And that's where they completely missed the point. Whether Nick Shirley is a good journalist, a bad journalist, a grifter, or anything else the government wants to call him, is constitutionally irrelevant. Freedom of the press does not depend upon government approving of the journalist. The First Amendment doesn't say freedom of the press belongs only to journalists government considers credible. It doesn't say journalists must be polite. It doesn't say their questions must be welcomed. And it certainly doesn't require the governor's press office to like them. Threats are not journalism. Doxing is not journalism. Harassment is not journalism. But asking questions is. Investigating potential fraud is. Following taxpayer money is. And exposing wrongdoing is. So yes, let's get the facts. But there's one fact the government should remember. The First Amendment protects the press from government. It doesn't protect the government from the press.
Isn't that the best line? The First Amendment doesn't protect the government from the press. It protects the press from the government. We got a governor in Gavin Newsom who's looking at the calendar and he's like, 2028 cannot come fast enough. He's got to be the Democrat nominee for president. It's the only way he can avoid his own legal nightmare. He and his wife, all of their money, all of the finances that don't add up, the tax filings that don't add up, all of the gifts that got cycled through various NGOs and groups that Jennifer Newsom is plugged into or the owner of. Gavin Newsom needs people like Nick Shirley to stay the hell away from California because he's still got another year or so to go. Another 2 years to go. Look, this sort of stuff, there's no room for it at all. The behavior of Terry Sanchez, the juvenile garbage about Nick, that's the sort of stuff Democrats told us was unacceptable. That's the kind of stuff they said they were victims of. Interesting, isn't it? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, you got to get out of here because the guy who was the highest paid federal employee for years now needs your handouts to pay for his legal defense fund. Are you kidding me? The new GoFundMe for Dr. Death next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Oh, gloves are off today. Look, some effeminate man who apparently has a reputation for being an absolute jag, particularly to conservatives who have anything to do with the state capitol or anything to do with California business, legislative business. This guy is apparently a nightmare. He needs to go. 877-231-5956. Not 5956. Yes. If anybody out there is interested, well, maybe I'll do this in the commercial break. Give it a little call. Make a little plea for Mr. Sanchez to be removed from his position for conduct embarrassing of the state of California. Right? Guys, I'm going to tell you something. When Joe and I went to Cedar Point, as I told you over the weekend, love going there. Mattress is not always the greatest. And it's when you're away from home, particularly if you sleep on a ghost bed, that you miss your mattress. It's not complicated. In fact, Cedar Point could get new mattresses in every single room that they have for such a phenomenal price, made in America with sleep cooling technology, literally temperature cooling technology that removes the heat from your body and pulls it away from you while you're sleeping so you don't roast in your covers. 101 night guarantee, sleep night. Try it for 101 nights. See what you think. Right? Made by a guy with chronic pain, made by a guy who couldn't find a comfortable mattress anywhere. So he decided to make his own. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. Use my name, get an extra 10% off. You're going to love these mattresses. Different kinds to choose from. Not basically by price, but based on what you like. Do you like a firm mattress? Do you like a pillow top? Do you like it a little squishy? What's your vibe? What's your feel? Every single mattress is going to keep you cool through the end of the summer. Why wouldn't you want to try? Ghostbed.com/Wendy. 10% off with my name. It comes to you lickety split. It's super easy to set up. I think you're going to love it. And you know it's been way too long since you have replaced your mattress. Brock, I got to work on getting you one. It's on my list.
Oh, what else is on the list?
Well, I think you would enjoy it. I think you need to go and see what kind you might like. I'll have to see. See how much they like us. I mean, literally for Ghost Bed Sight Unseen, before I read a single word about them to send me a brand new mattress, I was like, that's pretty legit. And it's fantastically comfortable. Fantastically comfortable. You lay down and you're like, oh. Ghostbed.com. 10%. Brock, what's going on? What are people talking about?
I don't know.
Aw. Has Demanda jumped in here?
I don't think so.
Okay, because somebody...
She's in recovery, she said.
Yeah. She's in recovery on her phone. That's what it is. You know, that's case.
She's waiting for the next rules that she's supposed to get. Instructions.
From the docs.
Yeah.
How about don't go and rake leaves? That's probably my big one.
How long you laid up for that? Week? 2?
From gallbladder?
Yeah.
No. It's a relatively brief downtime, but I overdid it. And so I paid the price. I felt absolutely god awful. Tammy Hannah says, I love this show. Tammy says, love Wendy and Brock. We love you back. Wait till you guys see the end of today's show. Oh my gosh, I have a story that's going to blow your mind. Terry Sanchez, there's apparently a phone number, a contact for the California Workplace Conduct Unit to file a complaint. I believe that there are enough people out there who believe what Terry Sanchez did to a young whistleblower, a young truth teller, a young guy, 24 years old, who's doing more than the mainstream media and telling us information, exposing fraud, blowing the lid on corruption, unraveling a tapestry of suck. And Terry Sanchez coming out in a juvenile way with a flyer that says allegedly Nick Shirley has a small penis is really funny to him. We're not playing, Terry, you jerk. California better figure it out, or it's going to slip through your fingers. Tony Fauci, the jerk that he is, the guy who was, in fact, the highest paid federal employee, made more than President Trump in 2019 and 2020. Don't you know? He apparently needs a little GoFundMe help for his legal defense. How does that feel to you guys? I mean, I'm like, you kidding me? You and your feckless ethics wife, the woman who was supposed to be in charge of ethics at the NIH, while her husband was pushing garbage on the world and they're sleeping soundly at night, right? Yeah, we can't pay for our own defense. Well, I've got a finger gesture for Dr. Christine Grady for all who know. Headline Fox News, Fauci's lawyers launch legal defense fund as federal state investigations mount against him. That's not his lawyers. That's Tony Fauci. Right? But he can't beg for you. He can't beg. He's Mr. Science. Don't you doubt him? Rand Paul called on the Department of Justice to prosecute Fauci after he repeatedly invoked the Fifth Amendment at a hearing. Yeah, we know that. This is the juicy part. lawyers representing Dr. Anthony Fauci have created a legal defense fund for the infectious disease expert as investigations against him continue to mount. Oh, the nickel and diming of the good doctor. That would be a fine way to poke at his ego. Fauci helped lead the country through the pandemic. Well, I mean, Fox, really? Is that what you're going to say? Has been accused by Republicans of misleading the public about the origins of COVID-19. That's just for starters, you guys. Misleading about the origins of COVID. That's the little palate cleanser. That's the little sorbet that you got. That wasn't the story. This dude lied about everything. He was the architect of a once-in-a-generation global pandemic. And if you go back 50 years of this guy's touch at the U.S., whatever, NIAID and NIH, everything he touched led to death, infection, disease, injections of mRNA gene scramblers and the like. And he'd worked with Ralph Barrick to hide his fingerprints from it. And now he wants you to pay his legal bills. Are you out of your ever-loving mind? See, I think Dr. Fauci has a bit of Lindsay Clancy to him. This weird, delusional, untouchable, crazy. Like, surely I'm not going to be found culpable, am I? Yeah. Rand Paul has called on the Department of Justice to prosecute him. This is where the whole pardon thing has to be tested. It has to be seriously tested because you can't just get an auto pen stroke, right? And be absolved of any culpability for things you may or may not have intended to do. Like kill 15 million people? Do you guys remember those PCR tests? Do you guys remember those? I'm going to encourage you to hang tight with me through the end of this program because there's not one aspect of Fauci's role in this pandemic that wasn't deliberately deceptive, starting first and foremost with the PCR tests. They didn't work, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't work. 86% of the time they said people tested positive. Why? Because if you test positive, oh no, it's spreading like wildfire. It's not just a bad flu. It's something that you need to stay home and addicted with. Just roll up your sleeve. It'll all go away. When we come back, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program. Liberal chicks. They're on a race to the bottom, you guys. Let's talk about this Lindsay Clancy story and see just how far gone America's left is next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I never thought, I'm going to bring it up so I know I have it. I never thought I was going to drink this stuff and want more of it. This liver stuff.
I'm drinking it today.
This
too.
liver hydration stuff. I'm just going to tell you something without getting graphic. One of the things that I think people who have a hard time with digestive systems that don't move very well, you end up feeling bloated, right? You end up feeling like a stuffed sausage, and that's a terrible feeling. If you feel bloated after you eat, if you have a hard time with just the smooth machinations of your body moving food out of it, you won't with this. Okay? I wasn't expecting this with a liver hydrating packet. I'm like, why does my liver need hydration? I drink water. Well, apparently that's not really the story. That you need something more than water, electrolytes. And the secret sauce of this is marine electrolytes, electrolytes from the sea. And the big thing is you're going to feel better after you eat. You're not going to feel so bloated. You're not going to wake up and feel, ugh. And I'm telling you, I just ask for more. I want more. This feeling I have, yeah, can I have that all the time? drinkltv.com/Wendy. It's all about hydrating the hydration organ of your body, the liver. Cleansing your body the right way. This is it. drinkltv.com/Wendy. You're going to save, what is it? Is it 35? Or is this that weird one? I believe it's 35% off, which is just nuts. It's already not expensive, but so it's like this little packet. Right? How you doing? Brock, it's probably too soon for you to feel anything, but I've loved it. What's your initial take?
You know what it reminds me of? And you probably don't know this. As a kid playing baseball, they used to get you have the big water thing for everybody. It tastes like the Gatorade lemon lime, the powder stuff that you would throw in and mix up for it. That's what it tastes like.
Except without the salt and the sugar. Electrolyte boost, hydrate deeply.
But it tastes good.
Liver detox support, 0 grams of sugar. I'm seeing that you could get it right now, save 57% as a free starter kit. I'm clicking on it. 99 cents a day. That's it. And you can choose. Oh, there's citrus, berry, tropical, and variety pack. What?
Is Tiffany holding out on us?
Wait, what? Okay, so I'm going to buy it. It says it's $45 for the bag, and the bag's like a month. But hold on. Add to cart. Now I want to check out. Use my name. Oh, boy. Free shipping. Wait a minute. Why isn't it showing up my name? That's not appropriate. Let's find out. Maybe drink LTV. Maybe it's already taken it out because I add the /. What? They have berry? Okay, now I'm going to add it and I'm going to see if that helps. So, save 57% on a starter kit. That's what I want. Berry. Shut up. Add to cart.
If you buy 2, it's $29.67.
See, no, it doesn't give me my discount. What? Okay.
I think it's already.
But no, it says discount code.
You want to click one?
See if it works for you. Like, I really want you to try this,
Wendy? Or is it Wendy Bell? Or
I don't think it's Wendy Bell.
Enter valid.
Does it make sense? Huh. Oh, they're going to throw in a bunch of stuff for free, too. What? Come on.
LTV mocktail?
I'm telling you. I'm sending her a message. Hey, Siri, text Tiffany.
What would you like to say to Tiffany?
Hey, I'm on the air right now, talking about Drink LTV, and the promo code is not working. Am I missing something? ? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know how you do a promo code wrong, but anyway, seriously, we want to get you that. I want to get you that. It's we'll see. You getting the same thing I'm getting?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll fix it. Unless it's already taken out, but I don't know. Does anybody think that Anthony Fauci should get 1 freaking red cent in some legal defense fund? And it's not set up like a give, send, go either. Like you can't see who else has given. You can't see.
Well, I'm sure George Soros and Alex Soros wouldn't go through the give, send, go, or GoDaddy or whatever it is.
Right.
What's the other one?
Give, send, go, and wasn't there a Christian one?
That was the give, send, go.
Oh.
You all know what we're talking about. Oh,
I got super like redhead.
it's drawing a blank.
What is?
Donation. GoFundMe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he doesn't need our money. He won all kind of awards.
Yes. Dude won $900,000 during COVID. He could pay his own freaking legal bills, jerk. All right, here we go. She just sent me a link. All right, so I'm clicking on it. No promo needed at checkout. Oh. Okay, so 57% off plus a free starter kit. What? And I'm writing her back. Girl, you didn't tell me there were flavors.
Yeah, you don't want to overnight that stuff.
I say that shite needs to be.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell. Inspiring solutions to save America, one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
They believe that they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump if they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate, embarrass you about Trump. They can't do it because you came before Trump. Desperately want Trump gone, and I know that they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they remain scared to you from Make America Great Again.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell Radio Program is live and on the clock. You can follow us, wendybellradio.com, live video stream all 3 hours, including the commercial breaks, and there is always room for you. Welcome back. You know, we got to talk about this Lindsay Clancy case a little bit more, not in terms of what she did, but what women are responding to it as. Because being a mom isn't a job. It is an honor. There is nothing in your life that you have more influence over, that your time and your touch and your love can impact more than a child. It is not something to do without maybe considering it. That happens all the time. And a lot of women do really well. But some don't. And taking this case out of it, anybody who believes they have to go do things with their children rather than they get to will very quickly wake up and be me. 56 years old, 5 kids, empty nest. And sad. It's part of life. This Revolver story, revolvernews.com. So it's brilliant. And it's accurate. The Lindsay Clancy case is the downfall of womankind. What happened to women, liberal women? And by the way, I will say it because I looked at the crowd outside the trial. It's white college-educated liberal chicks. Folks, there's something very dark and disturbing happening around the Lindsay Clancy trial, and we're not here to laugh at women on TikTok or sneer at struggling mothers or pretend postpartum mental illness is not real. This is much darker than all of that. Yes. Lindsay Clancy has admitted that she murdered her 3 young children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan, inside their Massachusetts home in January 2023 when her husband left the house. And now what the jury must decide is whether she was criminally responsible when she strangled them to death. Strangulation is a particularly dark death because you're looking, by and large, at the person who's killing you. And it's not fast. Imagine the last person you look at is your mom. Her defense says severe mental illness, including postpartum psychosis, took over Lindsay's ability to understand the wrongfulness of her actions, even though she waited for her husband to leave their home before she strangled her 3 children. Prosecutors say she knew exactly what she was doing, and that's why she deliberately waited for Patrick to leave. This case has a lot of questions, has a lot of emotions, but reasonable people will listen to the evidence and debate or disagree about those questions and answers. Somewhere outside of that reasonable debate and the Commonwealth courtroom, an entirely different Lindsay Clancy case is developed. That's the story. That's the scary. On social media, mostly among left-wing women and mothers, Clancy has become something more than a criminal defendant whose mental state of mind is being judged by a jury. She's becoming a Joan of Arc style symbol. Women claiming to be donating their last pennies to help Lindsay fight. Fight what? Women are also filming themselves sobbing while listening to her testimony. Mothers are holding their babies, looking dark and depressed, while posting, "Same, Lindsay." What? This is not okay. This is extremely creepy. It probably should involve CPS, Children Protected Services of some kind. And I'm not going to play them for you because they're that disturbing. It's become fashionable now to grab your poor child, turn on the camera, and start sobbing for Lindsay. Honestly, is this what the race to the bottom looks like? Other women are hopping on social media to publicly describe their own frightening thoughts about hurting their children. Oh my gosh. Women are also normalizing hopping on TikTok to tell their kids that they don't want them anymore. Oh my gosh, and fantasizing about murdering their husbands. At this point, not even the family pets are safe from unhinged women. And again, I'll spare you some of the posts. There's something deeply scary about watching normal frustrations with motherhood get folded into this case. Every mom gets exhausted. Every mom loses her patience or occasionally wants 5 quiet minutes before somebody needs something else. That's normal life. It is nowhere near the same thing as thoughts of strangling your children, and blurring that line isn't remotely healthy or helpful. Again, if all these TikTok moms are truly scared they might hurt their kids or their husbands or even their pets, the authorities should be called in immediately. But there are other layers to this. Many of these women are working so hard for Lindsay that they've conjured up some kind of wacky conspiracy theory. These women have invented an elaborate real story, claiming that her husband, Patrick Clancy, is actually the one who murdered the kids and then tried to kill her but failed. All of this despite the fact that both sides in the courtroom agree Lindsay did it, and physical evidence corroborates Patrick's whereabouts, right? It's crazy. They're straight up calling this grieving father a murderer with zero evidence, only their womanly feels and vibes. Look, as a mother of sons, I will say this is profoundly frightening. as a mother of 5 Gen Z men, none of whom, thank goodness right now, is seriously involved in a relationship. Holy cow. Is it mental illness brought on by, I don't know, ADHD drugs or all of the other stimulants we give children? The 82 shots that they receive from birth? I mean, like, does that play a role? I don't know. But there's something more desperate and depraved here. It's this look at me phenomenon. How many clicks did I get? How many people are watching me? Oh my gosh, am I a celebrity? Look, I've got relevance. What? No, see, you had relevance the moment you conceived your baby. It might not come with a ticker tape parade. It might be 25 years before you ever hear the words, thank you. But good Lord, we need to turn off the phones. Perhaps the single worst invention ever, the cellular phone. Because with it comes a very depraved insecurity. With it comes instant reaction, good or bad, that can lead to glory, can lead to suicide, can lead to murder. We need to have a real conversation, ladies and gentlemen, but when you have a country where a state in California passes laws that are contrary to constitutionally protected amendments, how do you have normal conversations with people who are crazy? I don't know. I don't know. And that mom of boys in me doesn't have the advice to give. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program. As Lindsay Clancy is being swooned over by liberal women, did you hear about the mom who went to extraordinary measures to prevent her son from transitioning into a girl? Yeah, she got thrown in jail. Did you hear this? You will. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Like the minute somebody can say to me, oh, I associate with those people. I'm outside swooning over this woman. She's given my struggles light. You need your own individual help. And I hope you get it. Stat. For you. But how do you have conversations with somebody who's posting videos about killing their children? It's too much. This is why I didn't want to talk about it. And I put it off, and damn it. The Simkovich Concussion Institute. I wonder if Dr. Simkovich can put his hands inside your mouth and fiddle around in the roof of your mouth and pull some areas, albeit a little bit uncomfortably sometimes because it's awkward. And he can feel things about you that signal to him that you've suffered a traumatic brain injury, and he can move parts of your soft palate, your sphenoid process. That's the real secret sauce. Move things around with his hands and make you feel healed from a traumatic brain injury, a concussion, or something like that. Can he cure mental illness? I wish. He asks you, Dr. Simkovich, hey, if you've got chronic headaches, if you've got essential tremor, if you've been injured, if you know you're not right, if you're troubled by a problem involving a brain injury and you're not getting the help you need, please call 412-366-3700. 412-366-3700. It's not complicated. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. They fix people. They heal people in their offices every single day. If you're ever there, it is a packed house because it works. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. 412-366-3700. How about something that makes sense? That does. The rest of this, the PCR tests, I don't have words for. You remember Bobby cried? I remember when Bobby cried because he tested positive and he couldn't play in a basketball tournament. And I have to try to explain this to my kids. How do you do that? No. I hate everyone. All right, let me tell you about Dr. Gundry's MCT Wellness. It's called the Healthy Fat for a reason. Because Dr. Gundry experienced and he discovered something that was a switch inside your body that allows your body to dump calories. What? And he says, this is the powder that activates it. I've been drinking it forever and ever. I've run out. I've been out. So that's why I've been drinking the LTV instead. This stuff is beautiful. It absolutely crushes your appetite. And by the way, it supports production of ketones for more energy and has polyphenols in it for brain health. Hi, lose weight, 70 pounds, Dr. Gundry lost, drinking this instead of eating like lunch or breakfast. Right? It's a meal supplement. It kills your appetite. You're welcome. And it's delicious. And you're like, right? Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. It's worth it. 100% worth it. I'm just waiting for more. Look, I wouldn't drink all this stuff and tell you about it if it wasn't wonderful. If it sucked, I'd be like, I don't like that. We've done that recently. What was it that we didn't like? We tried something and we're like,
Drinking the olive oil.
Oh, yeah. Remember when we were drinking olive oil? We did that once, and I was like, yeah, no. There's no amount of money you're going to give me to get people to drink freaking olive oil. No, it's gross.
No.
Unless
I'd try Casadrina.
I'm going to bring in my thing tomorrow. I'm not going to read it today because I'm so excited to show you my thing of Casadrino's olive oil. I could get it sent for free, and I pay for it because I want to support them. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So I want to tell you this story because this is it's so weird, these opposite worlds we live in, right? You've got women, swooning over Lindsay Clancy, who killed her 3 children with an exercise band. Okay. Let's just leave that there. Support her. They think she's a hero. They think she's some kind of an icon, bringing mental illness to the forefront. Yo, you can do that without killing your kids. Then you got this woman over here sentenced to prison for trying to rescue her son from transitioning into a girl. You ready? There are cases when the law tells you what happened, but leaves out almost everything that explains why it happened. And that can be very troubling. And then you go straight into the weaponization pool, right? Shanna Gaviola. Her case feels like one of those situations. The federal government's version of the case, it's brutal. It's pretty straightforward. They say Gaviola violated a restraining order involving her teenage son. She arranged to have him taken from California to a Christian boarding school in Missouri, and the people transporting him kept him handcuffed for more than 24 hours. She broke the law. A jury convicted her, and now she's been sentenced to 3 years in federal prison, essentially for kidnapping her own kid, right? That very dry and clinical version of the story leaves out the chunk that turns this case into a rallying cry for parental rights warriors. According to Gaviola and her supporters, this fight began after the teenage son wanted to transition into a girl. The people around him, including his school, affirmed his decision without his mother's approval. So Gaviola believed her confused child was headed towards a life-changing decision he would likely regret. And she refused to just stand by and watch it happen. So that style of parenting doesn't magically make a court order disappear, but it also doesn't mean every decision Gaviola made was legally defensible. Does add a huge layer to the story that changes everything. A mother's motive, context should always matter when we talk about justice. So she's trying to protect her child from what she sincerely believed could become irreversible harm, right? It's a far cry from somebody violating a restraining order because she wanted to terrorize or punish them. But the federal government described Gaviola like a monster with no backstory. And what's worse is that the DOJ celebrated her conviction with talk of kidnapping and terror, while the FBI announced that her son could finally, quote, rest easier knowing justice has been served. That victory lap, among other things, bothers us. This is how the DOJ announced the conviction. Pay attention to the part of the story that gets the most ink, the handcuffs, the protection order. Here's what they said from the Eastern District of California. Following a 5-day jury trial, Shanna Gaviola, formerly of Clovis, 38, was found guilty of interstate violation of a protection order for causing her estranged teenage son to be taken against his will and transported from California to Missouri. Kidnapped her then 16-year-old son from an ice skating rink in Fresno, driving him in handcuffs to Missouri, forcibly restraining him there for a week, all in express violation of a state court domestic violence restraining order and ostensibly in the exercise of Gaviola's religious belief. Well, the thing that's crazy is that her son was being groomed by the school and by other parents in the community to step away from his mom, hence the restraining order. Did you know that one child sex transition is worth more than $1 million to doctors and hospital systems and to pharma? Do you think there are a lot of reasons people would be encouraging this young man's transition, none of which had a hold on his mental well-being or who he really was, like his own mom? And so now she's off to federal prison for 3 years. You're not allowed to do that stuff. Did she do it the right way? No. Did she do something as a mom to protect her child because she knew that was her job? Yes. Now, however you look at this, as she reports to prison next week, apparently she was federally prosecuted under Biden, convicted of interstate violation of that protective order, sentenced to 3 years. Her son is now 21, and you know what? He never transitioned. I bet you Shanna Gaviola will go to prison and feel like the time she serves, if it saved her son from making that decision, was worth it. That feeling of protection, that feeling, that mother nurturing protection. Those women outside the Lindsay Clancy trial, where'd that go? Did you ever have it? Two very different stories, two very different outcomes. Two women who made bad decisions, but I think one, demonstrably, did so for the benefit of her son, albeit the wrong way. Gray area? Yeah. Murder? Gray area? No. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, again, my opinions. You don't have to share them, but I don't think it's at all crazy. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, what happened with those burn bags? Remember that? What happened to that story? Oh, we're going to crank that back up again, ladies and gentlemen. It's not making headlines, but it will. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
I don't think there's any gray area there. That mother did what she's supposed to do, and that is protect her children from everyone. If it's the school, if it's the doctors, that is your
neighbors.
job. Yeah, like neighbors, like stay out, mind your bit. Unless that kid comes with bruises, mind your business. Stay in your lane. Mind your business.
They groomed him. They intervened without her consent. Who the F are you?
Yeah, that's
Don't you dare fiddle with one of my children. Mm-mm.
I had a
Mama bears have the shovels.
Kate and I have a friend that her son would come up and want to spend his spring break with me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he would talk, but he's like, I can't say anything. I was like, listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to tell your mom what we talked about unless I feel that she needs to know. I said, I'm not saying if you don't say something that I'm not going to tell your mom, but I'm just not going to lie to you about it. If I feel she needs to know, then I'm going to tell her and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Because who knows their child better than. And I know I'm going to get this from dads. Who knows their child better than a mom? 99.9% of the time, there's no one else. Dad, no, it's the person that shows up with the shovel. It's the way I always look at it.
It's a good time to save 30%. It's always a good time to save 30%, whatever it is. It's a great time to save up to 60%. And that is the story of Health Revolution. The story's coming out about this Unaffordable Care Act, Obamacare marketplace, and how outrageous the premiums are and how crappy the coverage is and the tape around it. It's just a nightmare. Now you've got Cigna dropping out of it. You have 3 million people at the first half of this year dropping out of the Affordable Care Act marketplace. What's going to happen? It's going to fall apart 100%. And you're going to need insurance. Why not choose a plan that you create? Because that's what you get to do with Health Revolution. Info.healthrevolution.net. Info.healthrevolution.net. Go share some information about yourself. And you're going to be connected to a professional who's going to help you create that plan. My son Michael did it, right? Save 30 to 60% on your premium. No copays. You see the doctors you want to see. No question, right? No red tape, no gumming up the works. Very cut and dry, very simple. If you're under the age of 65, this is for you. If you're relatively healthy, this is for you. If you're a gig worker, if you're off of your parents' insurance now and you're 26 and you don't know where to go, this is for you. Info.healthrevolution.net. 800-868-6187. 800-868-6187. Michael said it was astonishingly easy to do. I'm delighted. The mom is very happy for that. Well, I have not been reading you guys here. What have you been doing? Hi. I know I'm coming out swinging today. I don't really care anymore. I'm not worried about offending people. Like that guy in California who printed up the penis thing and Nick Shirley. This is an effeminate gay man who is afflicted by his own whatever. And he thinks it's appropriate. Maybe that's appropriate in different circles. I don't know what circle that would be appropriate in. But wow, what a bad look. What a bad look. What a bad look for California to Bigfoot journalists, right? What a bad look. What are you hiding? We know. It's all horrible. It's all horrible. I don't even need to tell you the state that Lindsay Clancy's in. I don't want to know the details because she had to chase down one of her kids. Ugh. Look, I think there are some people who need to be thrown away. I'm sorry. That's not very Christian, but it's true. Some people just need to be. There is a CCOT in El Salvador for a freaking reason. These are not people who are going to be rehabilitated. These are not people who all of a sudden are going to look in the mirror with all the tats on their face and be like, well, maybe I didn't want to join MS-13. Too late. You killed people. You killed a lot of people. You are no longer a part of polite society. Okay? Bye-bye. See ya. I don't want to see you on the street. We have an obligation to protect our children and the most, vulnerable. There's a reason why that place exists. There's a reason Alcatraz existed. Whatever happened to all those places? What happened to Alligator Alley or what have you? Is that done? Is that real? Is that happening? I was always hopeful they were just going to round up the deep state and hold them there before military tribunals and televised executions. What? I don't understand darkness, y'all. I don't. I don't know why I got burn bags in my bonnet today, but I did.
When did you get a bonnet?
Burn bags in my bonnet.
You old enough to have a bonnet?
Yeah, I imagine. Can you imagine putting my hair in a bonnet? Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Halfway mark in today's show. My Lord, it goes quickly with you. Thank you for this great privilege to speak with you. You know, there's a reason in El Salvador, there's a place called CCOT. It's a supermax prison where you go, it's like the Roach Motel. You ain't coming out. If you get sent to CCOT, that's where you're going to die. There's no luxury there and the supermax prison in El Salvador. Nayib Bukele made sure of that. You are penned like an animal because society has determined that your behavior is akin to one. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Take people who are dangerous to society. I don't want to hear about your backstory. I don't want to hear about the sobs. I don't want to hear about the victims. If you murder people, you are not part of polite society. You are a danger. Bye-bye. I mean, think about the crazy Chris Van Allen who is floating the idea of running for president. Senator went to go have freaking margaritas with a wife-beating, gang-banging MS-13 human trafficker. Right? That guy wants to be president. Got it. Oh, hell no. Well, I had a little, I guess, a bee in my bonnet over the weekend. Whatever happened to some of these things that we talk about? Right? Whatever happened to that alpha gal? Remember that tick-borne illness where people get violently allergic to red meat? Like, what happened to that? Oh, yeah, we got something coming up on that. What about what's going on in the FBI? We found out in 2025, shortly after Kash Patel became the FBI director, that right next to his office in a sealed room, a compartment in the Hoover building, the FBI headquarters on the 9th floor, that there was an unmapped room, locked. Probably put some filing cabinet in front of it. And lo and behold, they got inside, and what'd they find? Like 1.9 million documents, hard drives, all sorts of stuff from Crossfire Hurricane. You know, the Russia, the whole plan by Hillary Clinton and all those idiots in the Oval Office with Obama to try to sink Trump and make him Putin's puppet. Blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. Oh, yeah, they found that. Well, where the hell is that? Well, it's funny because I'm not the only one who's asking. Judicial Watch also wants to know. Federal court orders Justice Department to answer records questions on FBI burn bag room documents. Don't just tell us you found them. Don't just come out and tell us you got them. What the hell are you doing with them? Look, I know that there's a million things that they're working on, but for the love of all that's holy, do the people in this administration not realize we're hungry for one freaking person who sucks to be punished? Just one. Just one. One. Uno. This is not complicated. Here's the headline from Judicial Watch announcing today that a federal judge ordered the DOJ to provide answers about nearly 2 million pages of FBI records discovered in a hidden room at FBI headquarters, including whether the records have already been reviewed in response to other Freedom of Information Act requests, and whether the newly uncovered records had been stored in other government records systems. You told us. 1.9 million pages, you told us, and then you said, wait a minute, it's going to take us like 150, literally, this is what they said. It's going to take us 158 years to get you all of this. Okay, well, let's start with now, today. I'll take what you've got today, because I know in one page that was inside that secured facility, there's 10 different deep staters who could be exposed, who could be prosecuted, who could finally freaking be removed from polite society for being the vermin that they are. How about that? Judicial Watch had to file a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit after Cash came out and was like, hey, we found all this stuff. They're like, yeah, show us. Show us. I think we should go back in time. So they've got another week and a half. I guess it's September. It's coming up next Friday or whatever the deadline is. There's 2 weeks to go for the FBI to start dropping some details. Remember Dan Bongino? He was on with Sean Hannity in April of last year. No, it was April of this year, talking about finding these documents. Listen.
Well, a burn bag is just a paper bag, and you throw material in there that is supposed to be burned. Burn bag sounds big because it sounds like something nefarious. If you have a paper copy of a document you're not obligated to store, you burn it. So it goes in a burn bag. It would be like in the Secret Service, a motorcade route. You don't want the enemy getting it. You throw it in a burn and they burn it. However, somebody didn't burn these bags. Why? We'll see as the case proceeds, but somebody didn't burn these bags. So we found.
I got a question. Do you suspect maybe somebody purposely put them away that you'd find them because they didn't like what they were living through?
And this is why I say to people that be careful painting the entire bureau with an overly broad brush. There were a ton of bad actors, and more than I expected, and you are correct about that. But there were a lot of people in there under extreme pressure who, you get where I'm going with this, who were probably like, this isn't right.
Do you suspect somebody did it on purpose? They saved it on purpose?
I do. And it was the mother lode. And there was a document in there that we were never meant to find that was basically the keys to the kingdom on Crossfire.
Now, the keys to the kingdom, he would go on to say, was 100 pages long with all these footnotes, all the facts, the data, the sources, all of that stuff. It was he couldn't take it out of this secure facility. He had to read it. So he stayed there for 4 hours and read the whole thing. And that's when his face started to melt off. Catherine Herridge with Katie Pavlich, she says that the president talking about these burn bags should have a lot of deep staters sweating. Again, the countdown is on. There's about 10 days before the DOJ has to start releasing these documents. Listen.
The other thing that really caught my attention was the president's discussion of these burn bags.
Yes.
This immediately took me to the burn bags that were discovered on the 9th floor of the FBI, where they found the records about Crossfire Hurricane. That was the original 2016 Russia collusion investigation. They also found what was a CIA note. There's only a paper copy. It was from the CIA director to the FBI, and it had that intelligence about Hillary Clinton planning to paint Trump as a puppet of Russia. Okay, what he said is that those burn bags were supposed to be destroyed.
Yes. So for people who aren't familiar, what is a burn bag? Why would you need a burn bag?
I have lots at home.
I have lots just hanging around just in case I ever need to use them.
So a burn bag is used in classified facilities or sensitive security facilities, and they take documents, and rather than shred them, they put them in the bags to be burned so that they are ultimately destroyed. These bags were discovered at FBI headquarters. One was in a closet next to the director's office with some of the most important documents about the Russia collusion investigations.
Yeah.
And I was struck when the president said, we know now that they were supposed to be destroyed and there was some kind of mistake. And he said that the ODNI, the top intelligence official, FBI, and CIA, they will investigate that.
So she talks about President Trump. It's surprising to me, or I found it interesting what the president talked about. He specifically made reference to burn bags. We remembered this was it.
Recently, we found significant numbers of burn bags in formation, and this is a group of bags that were used to destroy information given by President Barack Hussein Obama to be burned. It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different people, incinerated and checked, but it never happened. Maybe we got lucky. We believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross incompetence of the people that were supposed to burn the bag.
The thing that I remember is the raid at Mar-a-Lago, which was widely presumed to be Merrick Garland, the DOJ, the FBI raiding the president's private house in the off-season to find the Crossfire Hurricane binder. Remember when the president declassified on the end of his first term? He was going to give all of the reporters that binder, and they quickly brought everything back and classified it again. There was one binder missing. And the scut was they raided Mar-a-Lago to find it. Unbeknownst, of course, to Kash Patel and everybody at the Bureau, right next to his desk in a secret compartment behind the wall was the treasure trove of treasure troves, including a handwritten note from John Brennan, then director of the CIA, talking about Hillary and Crossfire Hurricane trying to sink Donald Trump. That handwritten note of proof was among these. Tulsi Gabbard knew, you guys. She was in August of 2025. This was Tulsi during a cabinet meeting, director of national intelligence. This was being broadcast live from the White House to the rest of the world. Listen.
We are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes in random offices, in these bags and in other areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people and trying to cover up the politicization that was led by people like John Brennan and James Clapper and others that have caused really immeasurable harm to the American people and to our country.
Huh. So interesting, not long after, James Comey happened to stumble upon that wild rock formation. 8647 is so weird. What else was going on about this time? The deep state started to panic. Now, I want to tell you, this is sad for me. This is where my mind has to go. Tulsi Gabbard was all over this stuff, all over the documents, all over the burn bags. And then what happens several months after that announcement? Her husband is diagnosed with some very dangerous, deadly form of cancer. I don't want to say these things are connected, but it is curious that Tulsi would then resign and step away from that position to go tend to her ailing husband. It's like with every find, every discovery, there is a counteraction and another narrative to send us on a different path. Am I saying that her husband was poisoned or something? I don't know. It's weird timing when you've uncovered the mother lode of fraud. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, deadly heat in Europe has killed more people this summer than all Americans ever killed in mass shootings combined. I want you to think about that. Oh my, next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Literally, I don't want to think like this. I don't want to, it's not Sunday. I'm not wearing my tiara, right? We do this sort of talk on weekends with Wendy on the Sundays. And if Brock will be available this weekend, I will as well. But I didn't want to start thinking, it's so weird that she abruptly had to resign her post. Wow, she had to abruptly resign her post because her husband got sick. Do we believe that direct energy weapons can't take out people? Do we believe that people can't be given viruses or illnesses? I don't know. I could see it all happening because really, what's shocking you now? What, the stupid COVID tests never worked? It was all a scam? I want you to think about that as we go into the third hour today. It's crazy. All right. I have to hear from Kelly Morgan, Morgain's Fitness, morgainsfitness.com. She was in a bodybuilding competition, a Stars and Stripes kind of military themed one. And she was the female athlete sponsor to participate in this thing. I'm sure she's going to send me a picture. I'm going to post it and show you guys because it's just.
She finished first in her age.
Did she say that to us? Did I miss it? Morgainsfitness.com, MORGAINZ. Fitness.com. She's pretty amazing. She's pretty amazing. While Brock's looking for this, I want to tell you, this is the real deal. This GLP-1 Gold. It is a dietary supplement from our friends at Juvenon. And it absolutely works. It absolutely stops your cravings. You know what I find it does? It stops my hankering for the salty and bread and butter stuff that I love to eat. Slashes it. GLP-1 Gold, Juvenon, bloodflow7.com/Wendy. 30% off. Again, $1 a day. I take one at about this time and I'm not ravenous. I eat my dinner and I'm good. So you can eat in the morning, you can take one of these, skip lunch, eat dinner, and skipping a meal, yeah, you lose weight. And it happens pretty quickly. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy, GLP-1 Gold.
She finished first in 50 plus, third in 35 plus, and third in the open, which I guess is everyone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But the amount of time that woman has put into her body, holy Moses.
She's 54.
Yeah, see if you can zoom in and show us the bikini. This is Kelly Morgan. You guys are like, I don't know, should I do Morgan's Fitness in the 90-day Ignite? You tell me. What? That scares me. She has negative body fat. I can share some.
Remember, I got plenty if she needs some.
I can share some. I have some zhuzh.
Remember after the first one, she's like, this is it.
Yeah. This is it. I'm
That's
like,
her 6th.
what?
That's what she said. That's her 6th.
Does she make any money off of that?
I don't know.
Huh. Maybe I should send her a Wendy Bell Radio silver coin. Just kidding. That's great. I'm proud of her. Holy moly.
I wonder when she's going to have a Wendy Bell Radio bikini made for her next one.
Can you imagine?
What's that?
Can you imagine? I get hives thinking about putting that on. First of all, I couldn't hold up the top. It'd look like a slingshot on me. We'd be like, that's a good look. I'm like, do we have any filler that goes with this? What? Real, and I think we take so for granted. I know I do. I take it for granted every day. I've never traveled to Europe. I've never been there. I want to see it, but to be honest with you, I want to see America first. I want to see every state in this beautiful country first. A lot of people go over there and they are amazed. There's not air conditioning, and it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. I want to read this to you from notthebee.com. So this is not parody. More people have died from heat in France this summer than all U.S. mass shootings in history. That's France this year has recorded. Brock, what? Give me an idea. What do you think is a lot of people dying from heat? Like I think
20.
I think like 100 people. I'd be gobsmacked. I'd be like, what? That would cause cooling centers. You would have a city in an almost complete shutdown, trying to do whatever they could to keep people cool. France has recorded over 7,300 excess deaths during heat waves this year, with a record 52 days of hot spells since mid-June. Separately, nearly 10,000 people across Germany have died so far this year due to heat-related causes, according to the German Institute. Maybe all the global warming was dangerous after all. From Bloomberg, at least 5,700 excess deaths were recorded from June 17th to July 2nd, about 1,243 in the July 3rd through 22 period. In France, they said in a statement Wednesday, people aged 75 and older have accounted for 3/4 of the deaths during the second heat wave. Imagine there's nowhere for you to go. There is no relief. There is no shade that cools you down. Comparatively, the much ballyhooed mass shootings in the United States claimed the lives of far fewer people. More people died in France this year from not having air conditioning than American deaths from mass shootings in all of recorded U.S. history. Now, every time there's a shooting here in America, what happens? Oh, we got to kill the Second Amendment. We got to cut down on the number of rounds in a magazine or what have you. Got to change the action of whatever it is. You got to change the gun. Gun. Gun's a problem. Well, why can't we have this conversation about apparently the heat? Because they're not really talking about it all that much. Numbers were pulled from the Rockefeller Institute of Government page on mass shootings. According to those numbers, you are far more likely to die from heat in Europe than becoming a victim of a mass shooting in the United States. And for those who are wondering, there have been about 4,000 heat-related deaths in the U.S. this summer. But our population is almost 5 times larger, and we have vast tracts of literal desert, right, compared to France's temperate Mediterranean climate. It's even worse when you realize that the mass shootings are loosely defined. It's interesting what the media will cover and what they will leave behind. Thousands more people dying because of heat. Well, we can't really make any money off of that, but we can do this whole gun thing over on this side. About half of all gun deaths overall in America are from suicide, of course. We know this. This means your chances of dying in America in a mass shooting are markedly lower than dying in Europe because your government won't let you own air conditioning. But we should totally get those socialists. I love them. They're fantastic. Bring them in. Kind of makes you happy to be here in the land of guns and cold air and freedom, doesn't it? And we were completely mesmerized. I was. When the World Cup was here and people would take videos of themselves walking into a McDonald's because the cold air that greets you on the way in that you and I depend on, we take for granted. It doesn't happen over there. You're not allowed to have air conditioning. That's for the important people. You lower people, you plebes, you lesserlings, you drones, you commoners, well, that's really something extraordinary. Not for you. That's a serious number. And it is so curious what the media will and will not talk to you about. It's sort of like the election fraud that keeps bubbling through my news feed. Are you guys getting this? Every single day, another story, another drip, another drop of election fraud. Everything that you and I have spoken of for years, they want us to be willfully blind and just walk by. Well, there's no need to litigate the past. Well, there is a need to do so, exactly, if you're planning on doing it again. And we know one thing about the deep state. They know nothing except how to cheat, ladies and gentlemen. So when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we're going to start with a truly remarkable miracle out of Pennsylvania. How is this possible? I mean, it's like mail on steroids. The Postal Service doing amazing things, or it's fraud. One or the other. You decide. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. What were you leaning over to touch? Why were you leaning over there?
I was editing.
Oh, I was
distracting.
Well, I was trying to figure out if you needed to do something and you needed me to stop. So no, I just didn't know. So you're not allowed to have air conditioning. Too expensive. There's no room for it. We don't have the grid. Where have you been, people? Where have you been? No wonder the people who came here from other countries wanted to stay indefinitely in America, right? No wonder. Let's see. Who do I want to talk? Oh, I know. Texas Bullion Exchange. WendyLovesGold.com. This is a great time, you guys. It's always a great time to get gold and silver and platinum and palladium into your portfolio. I admit I had no idea what buying gold was all about, if it mattered, if it was a good decision. People don't normally sit on $20,000 or $50,000 and say, you know what, honey? We've got no reason to spend it anywhere else. Let's go buy some gold and silver, right? Some people do. I don't know a lot of them. But you don't have to be rich to get in on the game. And the game is to diversify your portfolio. So if you're 100% in the stock market, you got to ask yourself, what's going to happen when that crashes? Because it's inevitable. Where do you have other storage of wealth? If you go to wendylovesgold.com, you call 855-927-5557. You're going to get paired with somebody who's going to explain to you why us getting off the gold standard really catapulted the value of gold and really sunk the value of the dollar. And then you're going to see these comparisons and you're going to be like, yeah, I can totally see why I should do this. I did twice. It's not complicated. 855-927-5557. Add some information about yourself. Let them call you back or email you back. Be open to the discussion because they're wonderful and they love, love, love educating you. wendylovesgold.com. I'm going to go to the bathroom real fast. I'll be right back.
See, I'm always working. I still don't understand and can't wrap my head around the women supporting the woman around that lady on trial. How does that even make sense? In their minds? How do you square that? Killing your kids, how do you square that? Not asking for help.
We have how many more days of Sniper? Oh my God, this is so crazy, you guys.
We're running out.
Couple more days.
End of August.
We got a week. A week from today, it's over 20% off. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Sniper on sale, the ultimate back to school thing. Whether you have babies going to kindergarten, you got kids going into their dorm rooms in college, everybody in between. Look, viruses, bacteria, fungal infections, mold, all of that stuff, bad odor causing things. It's all around us, but you can stay ahead of it with Sniper. It is a great, great, great spray. Once you get it, you'll never want anything else. And I will tell you, our family has been decidedly healthier since we started using disinfectwithsniper.com, period. I use that in Knockout almost exclusively to clean my house. It's the best. Disinfectwithsniper.com. 100%. 20% off. I've never seen him take it for 20% off. I'm just going to say. He's gone 10, right?
Yeah.
But never 20?
I don't know if he's ever done 20. Not with free shipping. I don't think we've ever done 20 with free shipping.
That's pretty amazing.
Someone said they used earlier in the chat that they used Hunt Chef seasonings, and oh my gosh.
Everything on that
pretty
site.
much all I use.
Everything on that site is pretty fantastic. I think you should give me a heart. Thank you.
What kind of evil laugh is that?
No, I just made you do that and made you very uncomfortable. So it made me happy. Thank you.
Wow.
Wow. Somebody wrote me a snarkogram saying, maybe you should ask your husband how to pronounce the pineal gland. I was like, maybe he was in. It was one of those weekends, y'all. I can tell you that much. One of those weekends. All right. This Lindsay Clancy stuff, I'm telling you what, is just off the grid. I don't get Some of the stuff that's coming out and making the rounds is interesting because we've been there and we exposed it. And I actually have a BS board. I didn't ask for an overlay, though. I can pull it up. I'm going back and finding the BS boards from late 2020, early 2021. And it's like now, 5-6 years later, the stories are coming back. And I'm like, oh, really? You mean the ones that we covered and were called conspiracy theorists for? Is that one? The one that got us zapped on YouTube? That one? Got it. Got it.
You didn't send it to me.
I didn't. It's in there. It's fine. It's hard to read anyway. It would be difficult. Oh, good Lord. By the way, Al Good Cool here on Rumble, he's the one who crunches all of our data and our insights. I love you, Alan. Love you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. This is hour number 3. You know, if I had one message that I could send to the president in this administration, it would be this. You guys got to get somebody in handcuffs. You guys have to get somebody in an orange jumpsuit. There has to be some prosecution. There has to be some culpability. There has to be some answer to the last decade of crime and filth and corruption and all of it. And we've seen nothing. We've seen nothing. Seriously. I want to make that abundantly clear, and I don't know if they're holding their cards, if they're waiting to play them at just the right time. If you read the comment of a quote-unquote bombshell that comes across on social media, scroll 3 or 4 down on the comments, and you'll hear one after another. You'll see it. Yeah, but nothing will happen. Yeah, but nobody will be held accountable. Yeah, but so what? It doesn't matter. No, see, it does matter. But the way the news goes, it seems like conservatives get punished and liberals get away with everything. And that sucks. That sucks. It sucks to feel like the deck is stacked against you. And people who are the perennial victims, who by and large aren't that intelligent, but have been groomed to pretend that they've been just victims of everything, right? These are the people who the system falls over to protect. Even when they steal from you, they take from you, they break the law, it's no big deal. There must be a counteraction. There has to be. There has to be. And there hasn't been. So let's go back. Let's go back to what we've been talking about since the beginning of this program, which was essentially born during COVID, right? And it's the same common sense that Nick Shirley has, that a new bill signed into law in California is going to prevent from happening in that state. It's that common sense. You mean to tell me that Pennsylvania sent out 1.8 million mail-in ballots in 2020. Of course, under the guise of, well, there's this virus and it's killing everybody and you don't want to be a vector of disease. Just stay home and stay safe and just send in your ballot. Oh, you got 5 of them? Just make sure you send them all in. We'll make sure we catch at least one of them for you. The whole thing sucked from the beginning. Anybody with a moderate education level was like, what? 1.8 million mail-in ballots sent out, 2.5 million received by the time the counting was done in 2020 in my Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, because that makes sense. Oh, but there was that fantastic 685,000 vote swing from Trump to Biden. That was really cool in the middle of the night that switched everything around like so many other states. I want you to hear this mail-in ballot miracle. How quickly, I'm going to ask you this question. How quickly do you think the Secretary of State in charge of elections can get the U.S. Postal Service to send out ballots to you and then have you fill it out and then send it back to whomever counts it and have it be counted? How long do you think that process takes? Minimum. What do you think? 5 days, a week? This is the U.S. Postal Service we're talking about, right? Sorry, no offense. No, how about same day? How about that there were mail-in ballots that were received and counted in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania before they were even shipped out to the voters? How does that make sense? Well, let's listen in to a truly remarkable mail-in ballot miracle as a young man goes through the columns of data and exposes something very interesting.
The following information is straight from the PA.gov website and has almost 3.1 million entries. I exported all that information into an Excel sheet, but I was cut off at about 1 million rows, so keep in mind we're working with 1/3 of the whole data set. So the first thing I did was create a column to see if any ballots were mailed out by the government the same day that they were received, filled out through the mail by the voter. Turns out about 11,000 were filled out by the voter and returned back to the government the same day the government mailed them out to the voter. I then created a column to see if there were any applications that were approved by the government, mailed out by the government, received by the voter, and then filled out by the voter and mailed back to the government on the same day. And there were 8,205 cases of that. And lastly, I created a column to see if there were any ballots that were received through the mail, filled out before they were even mailed out by the government. There were 7,403 cases of that.
Let's go over that. Are you ready? 1/3 of Pennsylvania's election data, 1/3. Shows 11,000 mailed ballots were filled out and mailed back on the exact same day that the government mailed them. Come on, guys, right? Of those 11,000 ballots received, filled out, and sent back on the same day, 8,205 were processed by the government that same day too. Man, that's crazy quick. And yet my cost for the forever stamps keeps going up. What is it, 82 cents now a stamp? But man, lickety split when it comes to these mail-in ballots, same day you send it out, I fill it out, and then you count it and tabulate it. Wow. That is election miracle work right there. Wait a minute, but there's more magic. Were there any ballots that were filled out and processed before the government mailed them? Yeah. 7,403 of those. How's that possible? How's that possible? Well, that's just Pennsylvania, of course. Because we could talk about Jesse Waters. By the way, Pennsylvania, Joe Biden allegedly won by a margin of 80,555 votes. Right there is about 30,000 fraudulent ones. I wonder however that happened. And Jesse Waters, he takes us to Arizona where Biden won by 11,000. How many questionable ballots were found by an outside auditor of Maricopa County? Woo, boy.
In Arizona, Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by 11,000 votes. An audit in Maricopa County, done by an outside firm, found 57,000 questionable ballots, just in that one county. The media wasn't interested in this, and the audit wasn't as thorough as it could have been because Arizona officials wouldn't fully cooperate, and some evidence was removed and destroyed. So there's a dangerous pattern in the United States. Politicians, prosecutors, and the press are abusing their power to wage political warfare against innocent people. And even when the abuse is exposed, The press runs cover for the conspiracy. We're picking it apart, but we need more honest Americans on the inside. Run for office, be a reporter. I'd tell you to be a lawyer, but this country does not need any more lawyers, just the right ones in the right places. So get it right, or be a judge. We can't win the battle from the outside. You know what you need to do.
Sidney Powell tried to be one of those lawyers in the right place at the right time, and she exposed something huge. Here she is with the late Lou Dobbs, as she was one of Trump's legal team members. She says, look, the CIA knew well before the 2020 election that Venezuela's Smartmatic election software could change election outcomes, and they said and did nothing.
Sidney, you tweeted earlier about CIA and its association. What have you discovered there?
Well, other than the fact there's no way all this was happening around the world without the CIA knowing about it. I mean, that's just logic. This affidavit also explains it's been used to change election results all over the world. And it's all Venezuelan and Cuban and essentially communist money that's been doing this. It's a foreign-owned company, as you mentioned earlier. The president of it is Mr. Neffinger, who is on Biden's very presumptuous and immediately failing transition team. And people have been reporting this to our government for several years, including Democrats, and nobody's done a damn thing about it, Lou. I can't even express how furious I am over this. They have adopted a position of willful blindness to this massive corruption across the country. And the Smartmatic software is in the DNA of every vote tabulating company's software and system.
Yes, and it is more than just a willful blindness. This is people trying to blind us to what is going on. We don't even know who the hell really owns these companies, at least most of them. That's got to change, and we've got to find out exactly what's going on. And thank God we've got a president who will stay in the fight all the way through until we get those answers.
Where is the data? Where is the criminal trial? Where is the exposure? Where is the reversal of this? Where are the people in handcuffs? Where are the freaking jumpsuits? I'm tired of talking about it. And you know what? It's one thing when it's an election. That's horrifying. But when it's information about a virus that they lied to us about for years, my civility flies right out the window. I got a few data sets to drop on you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Right? I'm so over the talk. I'm so over the talk. Like, we keep hearing, oh, it's coming. Oh, bombshell. Oh, this is huge. Oh, this will change everything. Oh, this is the beginning. And then what do you see? They pass a ridiculous unconstitutional law in California. I'm going to put it up. Yeah, I'll put it up.
I know. I just wanted to see how it would look.
I maybe it won't, but do you guys remember the good old days? We'll give you the sneak peek of it, maybe. Do you know how many hours we spent on those? Holy Moses. I'm so tired of deviants being able to, I don't know, murder people indiscriminately, including their children. Oh, it's mental illness. Ship them away. I don't have time for it. I'm not here to be nice. I don't care. I don't care what the reasoning is. Now, this is me being fussy right now, so. But I'm sorry. We try to talk and they execute Charlie Kirk, right? We try to communicate and they try to kill Donald Trump. We try to do things and they unleash a virus. Okay. I'm well past time. And if you think you're saving it for the freaking midterms, you've already blown it. You've blown it. there are a lot of whistleblowers, but far too many people are willing to put their head in the sand. Far too many people are afraid of the repercussions, and I understand that. We've had repercussions for just having the stones to tell you the truth. And to say, hey, if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Let's go. And if I'm wrong, I will tell you I'm wrong. Simone Gold lost her job. They started America's Frontline Doctors, or the FLCC, or whatever the bejeebers it is. A group of actual, and it's something like 18,000 doctors now. Thank God. Somewhere you can go to for actual advice that you might be able to trust. These are the people who risked everything to tell us the truth while you were being told just by your doctor.
I wonder if there's doctors still pushing it.
That shit needs to stop. Sorry, Harley. That needs to stop. It's unacceptable. The shots kill people. Like, it's a bioweapon. It's a bioweapon. And I don't know, do you believe that it's, genocide or whatever the hell they're calling it? I don't know. Seems like it.
We need some levity.
You know what they need? We need to have like a 100% off sale on ivermectin and fenbendazole and mebendazole. That'll be it. That should be what they do. No more drugs, just that. Oh, levity. You're going to give me levity as I blew through Healthy Cell. God bless America.
Yeah, you don't have time for that.
I know.
I told Amanda, who's on her way home, I said, don't rake leaves.
No.
And she's like, what? I'm like, Wendy says don't rake leaves. She's like, I think I might be high on these drugs, but I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yes, because it's only something stupid that you would do after having gallbladder operations.
Right.
But I felt perfectly lovely in the moment.
That's because you were probably all doped up.
I don't know what I... program, but patience is running out if it's not already run out. My patience with all of this COVID mumbo jumbo, it's run out. Why is the FDA supporting an mRNA flu vaccine that, in order to save one person from hospitalization, creates 3,800 adverse events and 2 people's deaths? Like, riddle me that. Tell me that's reasonable. Why doesn't that stop now? Why can't Bobby Kennedy be like, oh yeah, bzz, no. That's how I look at it as. How is this complicated? Well, there's so much bureaucracy. Cut out the bureaucracy. There are still colleges that force people to prove they're vaccinated. You want me to prove to you that I did what the government told me to do when there were doctors behind the scenes who knew it was deadly, who knew I was not going to die from the virus? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Dr. Simone Gold, fired for being a frontline truth teller during COVID. You remember her. She's now with the FLCCC or whatever that group is called. Frontline doctors that you can actually trust because they risked it all. This is what this is her weekend post. We published these CDC survival rates in October of 2020. The data was never published, never ambiguous. Healthy people under 70 were at vanishingly small risk of dying. Children were essentially never at risk of dying from COVID. Fauci had these same numbers. He chose fear instead of facts. He chose lockdown, school closures, and experimental shots over targeted protection of the vulnerable. He chose power over medicine. Now in 2026, he refused to answer any questions under oath. He takes the fifth over 100 times. A Senate committee has held him in contempt. His private diaries and phone records are being dragged into the light. This was never about following the science. It was about controlling the narrative. And the American people paid the price in lost lives, lost childhoods, and empty cribs. The truth does not require a pardon. It does not hide behind the Fifth Amendment. America's frontline doctors said it then. We are saying it now. The data was right. Fauci was wrong. And accountability, is finally arriving. This is what the graphic is that she puts up. That if you were between the ages of 0 and 19, you had a 99.997% survivability rate. Remember when I did this on the BS board? Ages 20 to 49, 99.98%. 50 to 69, 99.5% likely to survive COVID. It's pretty good. 70 and over, 94.6% survivability. And then we go to a BS board that I put together where many of you don't even know what that was. It's a dry erase board where I got to scribble in chicken scratch the hours upon hours of research we did, digging into the actual numbers. I'm going to read it to you. This was January 19th, 2021. Facts versus fiction. Total COVID-19 deaths as of January 9th, 2021. And the source was there, cdc.gov. According to the CDC, 322,441 people had already died from COVID, allegedly, as of January 9th of 21. I go through the numbers. 0 through 44 age. 2.6% of the deaths were in that category. 80% over the age of 65. Right? And what did we say? How many people had all of these comorbidities? Hypertensive disease, suffered cardiac arrest, they had heart failure, people who died suffered cardiac arrest, right? That's not the virus. It's because they had a heart attack. 29,000 had sepsis, 72,000 died in nursing homes, 9,400 died in hospice, 29,000 had renal failure. But you know what? You know who wasn't dying? Children. Children. 610 children under the age. Well, this is 0 to 24. 610 reported COVID deaths, ladies and gentlemen. You take all of the kids in America, it's 74 million. And they pushed this on our kids and stole years of their development. Fauci has a legal defense fund. Where is the defense fund for the people who had to bury their loved ones? Where's that fund? Where's that? Does anybody in their right mind think they would ever let Fauci fall? There's going to be an ugly day of reckoning, ladies and gentlemen, when the asleep among us begin to put the pieces of the puzzle together and realize, my oh my, how are they remarkably conned. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, this is it, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest news for Americans today, and it comes from Bobby Kennedy's Children's Health Defense. If you love a child or a grandchild, you're going to love this story next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Remember, I was like, there's 61. I think we got one of them. It was like 41 children. Children, legit, under the age of 18. 40,
remember the kid they
41
kept talking about who had like,
oh my God,
4 comorbidities?
He had some like childhood heart problem. He was diabetic. He had some renal failure, something else. And you're like, but he died because of COVID. Got it. It's just always nice to dust off the BS board and feel good about what we did, because those were labors of love and 100% worth it. 100%. And I'm glad I had to take pictures every day, because now I have a record of them all. All right, let me tell you about Healthy Cell, healthycell.com/Wendy. You know what? I was telling you about Talked about REM. I've talked to you about the calm mood, focus and recall. Love, love, love. If you're one of those people who, look, if you've got a big project coming up or you've got to take a test or there's something that requires serious focus, right? Boop, boop, boop. Focus and recall, healthycell.com. And this, the immune super boost, we're getting that changing in the temperature right now. Things are going to start happening. And that's when the viruses are all going to start whipping up, right? This super boost, wrap your immune system in a bubble of love, a bubble of protection. That's what this is. This keeps you from getting sick. And I will tell you, as long as I've been using Healthy Cell, I've been drinking these products, we've been remarkably well. healthycell.com/Wendy. I think their products are phenomenal. I traveled with REM sleep this weekend. Nighty night, great night's sleep always from healthycell.com/Wendy. This is what the REM sleep looks like. It is just so good. Such a great company, and I'm delighted that they're part of our family. So, all right, and then there was 30 minutes left. Hello, beautiful people. Where have you been? 4,300. 191.95. Let's get to 2. Can we? Please. Oh. Hey, Wendy, I'm a longtime listener of yours. Going back to your days on local news, I've tried many of the products from your sponsors and have loved them all. 6 years ago, I had my thyroid removed, which I blame for no longer having a beautiful full head of hair. It was thin and lacked body, even after using some very expensive products. I ordered the Pureance Hydrolift shampoo and conditioner. I've been using it for 2 weeks. Last week, I went for my monthly cut and color. Without my chemical dependence, I would be completely gray. My stylist, who's been doing my hair for almost 15 years, commented on how healthy and full my hair was. I just wanted to share that testimonial with you. Love spending my mornings listening to you and Brock. It takes everything I have to not put it back right now. I just want you to know.
I'm surprised you have.
Let's see if we can make it happen in time. It just gets hot. You can talk while I'm doing this because it's kind of, yeah. Okay. Oh, God. What are you sighing over?
I'm trying to do multiple.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I did not know that. To the gentleman who said, don't you ever dare put that hair up in that bun.
Who said that?
Some guy, he's like, your hair is very pretty. Don't put it up in a bun. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. But you obviously don't have that curly afro. Okay. Let's see. How's everybody doing?
Swaggerty. Wendy, you need to get rid of Brock. He thinks he's the star.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, that's me.
That, you know what? You so have him pegged.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm glad you're paying attention.
Yeah.
That's a weird even thing to... How do you say that?
I just think it's funny.
Whatever. It's like people who say I'm mean to you. I'm like, okay.
Well.
I am not mean to you. I don't want to say it again, but we haven't been sick in forever.
Huh?
We haven't been sick in forever.
I know.
Oh, this is kind of aggressive. Sorry. That is a wonderful testimonial. Thank you so much. I love that. You guys, if you ever have testimonials, wendybellradio@gmail.com. You know this. 100,000. I am so excited. Our Casandrinos International Oil order is out for delivery. We dropped off later today. Ooh, I could track it. Ha! I'm so excited. I'm not going to tell you about Casandrinos today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I have to bring it in. And then I'll show you. It's just fantastic. Fan-damn-tastic. Let's see. Order today. I already did. Items in this package. Nice. You know what? Your balsamic isn't bad. That's $19 a bottle. That's not bad. And then the olive oil. So good. Zeus blend. What's that? Zeus blend. Program. This is a pretty big deal, you guys. Now I know I'm a mother, and so this matters to me. I want to see if I can get you guys a better ad or a better story from this Children's Defense Fund. I'm going to get into it and hopefully be able to bring up the article because I just got blocked on mine. This is a big deal, though. It's the biggest news for millions of Americans today. If I told you that only 70% of the vaccines on the childhood vaccination schedule were safety tested before they were rolled out and we were forced to get them by the pediatrician, would that infuriate you? 70%. That pertussis, a chicken pox thing, varicella. Yeah, those vaccines, if I told you they didn't ever test them at all for safety, they just unveiled them and rolled them out into your child's arm, would you be upset? I would. If I told you the number was half, that'd be pretty big, right? It'd be a pretty big deal. If I told you it was only a quarter, what if I told you it was zero? Zero of the 80-odd vaccines we're expected to give to our children so that they can be privileged and be allowed in polite society. They can go to school, do all these things. Zero, because that's the story. Zero. They didn't safety test the COVID vaccine. You were the test. You were a phase clinical trial. You and your kids. That was you. That's what's gone on with vaccines in this country for too long. We have lawmakers who are untouchable or act that way, and for the most part seem to keep getting away with it, right? Why should the vaccine industry be any different? Why should medicine be any different? Why should they give a fat rip about you? They shouldn't, of course, right? Children's Health Defense has filed a RICO lawsuit, a racketeering lawsuit against the American Academy of Pediatrics for its decades-long deceit over the safety of the childhood vaccination schedule. That's bonkers. CHD and 5 other plaintiffs filed a federal RICO lawsuit because the American Academy of Pediatrics has engaged in that scheme to mislead families about the safety of the childhood vaccine schedule while receiving funding from vaccine manufacturers. This is a fraud case following the playbook that took down Big Tobacco, attorney Rick Jaffe said. It is time for some accountability. This is me holding my breath. And I don't mean to be that person. I am not a negative person. But we haven't seen any accountability for anything else. So what makes us think this would be the case? This is the part that is infuriating. Nicholas Holscher, the epidemiologist with the Muller Foundation, talks about it. He talks about this RICO case that the Children's Health Defense, run by Bobby Kennedy, suing American Academy of Pediatrics. You lied to generations of parents. You told us this was good. It was going to keep our kids healthy. It was going to protect our parents. It was the right thing to do. And you gave us no freaking choice. Unless we wanted to be Amish, homeschool, or be what? Roundly ridiculed by everybody and their brother, which I'm fine with. Bring it for the safety of my kids. I'll defend them for that. I gave my children every single one of those 82 shots times 5 is 400 shots. None of them was safety tested. That's crazy. That's barbaric. Nicholas Holscher saying this woman at some podcast, some, I don't know, European podcast. She's got an accent, whatever. He says, look, if children have to take between 69 and 92 vaccinate, literally 92 in some places to go to school, shouldn't those vaccines have been safety tested before the FDA approved them? Shouldn't they have been safety tested in some, I don't know, some double-blind placebo-controlled trials? Because they were not. Listen to Nick Holscher. Oh, my.
Not one of these childhood vaccines were safety tested in a double-blind, placebo-controlled long-term trial prior to FDA licensure. So they were not adequately tested, but they were authorized for widespread use anyways, all of these 72 doses. And so the American Academy of Pediatrics has been claiming that, giving these children 5 vaccines at once and, 32 doses by age 2, 72 doses by age 18, they've been claiming that that's completely safe, but that is a fraudulent recommendation. It's not accurate. They have no data to suggest that that is safe. In fact, we have data suggesting it is extremely unsafe. And so the reason they were hit with a Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organizations Act lawsuit, a RICO lawsuit, was because they're taking in money from the vaccine makers, Pfizer, Moderna, and Merck, to issue these fraudulent recommendations. And so that is a form of racketeering operation that has resulted in untold harm.
Well, what do these people care about? Just money? You don't care who dies? You don't care whose life is changed forever? How many life-changing treatments, therapeutics exist that have been bought up by the drug companies so that they can continue making money off of their cancer pills or what have you? Because that happens. You develop something that could be the next big thing, and woo, there's Pfizer, Moderna, Sanofi, whatever they're called, jumping in, buying your idea, not to produce it, but to sit on it, to bury it, to put it in the FBI Hoover building, in a secure department, a secure room that nobody knows about. We're going to burn that one. Really? There is no money in us being healthy. That is such a disgusting thing to say. How about that alpha-gal? You guys remember for like a hot second we talked about that tick-borne thing. Oh my God, it's not the ticks. It's the shots. It's the shots that they're giving our kids. The shots that you and I had to get. If you're 50, but I'm 56, I got shots. This is crazy. Nick Holscher says this. Look, over 90% of children are directly injected with alpha-gal containing vaccines before they're even allowed to enter school in kindergarten. 90% of us, 90% of our kids, they're primed because it's in the vaccine. Whatever, it's metal or what have you. And this primes the body so that when the tick comes and bites you, bada bing, then you've got your booster shot. It's there. It's waiting to be exposed. Tick bites, and there you go. Listen to Nick Holscher. This will blow your socks off.
Over 90% of children are directly injected with alpha-gal bearing gelatin. So gelatin contains alpha-gal. They receive 54 milligrams before they enter school from the vaccination programs, right? So that's a very large amount. And so when the whole population gets injected with alpha-gal, that's the same mechanism as the tick. The tick directly injects alpha-gal into you, and with some other chemical stimulating adjuvants. And so what we think is actually occurring is the children get vaccinated, their antibody profiles kind of shift towards, they start to make some antibodies against this alpha-gal, but not that much because the MMR shot doesn't have an adjuvant in it. And then they get bitten by the tick. And that boost, it's called prime boost. They're primed with the vaccine and then they're boosted with the tick, just like they do some vaccines like that. And that gives people puts them over the clinical threshold and they get alpha-gal syndrome.
Why are we all smoking 5 packs of cigarettes a day? I mean, like, honest to God, we're told don't do that. Take good care of yourself. Eat a good diet. Make sure you get enough steps. Drink your water. Take your vitamins. It's all good. Listen to your mommy. Pray to God. Okay, yeah, check. Right? And then they're like, well, we're not going to tell you about the crap we inject into your food. We're not going to tell you about the fertilizer and the Monsanto crap that we put on the stuff to keep the bugs away. I mean, that'll give you cancer, but you'll probably live quite a bit before that happens. We're not going to tell you about all the stuff in the sky, the streaks, the chemtrails in the sky. I'm sure there's nothing going on there. We're not going to tell you about how we poison the air that you breathe. Well, shoot, if you live in Flint, Michigan, you're not going to get running water for a while. So, I mean, like, what are we really talking about? This is America, the greatest place in the world, the place where all these people from Europe came from around the world came from, and they were just mystified. It wasn't just the air conditioning, the life-saving air conditioning that we have. It's the goodness and the kindness of the people. The problem is we've got all the wrong leaders. All the wrong jags in all the wrong positions. And I'm sorry, every single damn last one of them needs to be rounded up. I want to see you on the highway on my way home from work in a jumpsuit, chain gang together with a bunch of other goons, picking up garbage, period. Dr. Fauci, Anthony Fauci. What would be the punishment for that cat? Prison? No. Humiliation. Becoming penniless. Having his whole aura shattered. Dr. Know-It-All. Mr. Science is actually the world's darkest dude. I don't know. Maybe up with Bill Gates, who's somewhere in Africa right now trying to sterilize more teenage girls. Why can't we tell the truth about these people? Because pharma pays the media, and the media will never tell you these things. Do you know who doesn't get money from pharma? I don't. That's the difference. And ain't that a shame? Or a hell of a business model. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I got to tell you about these PCR tests, those COVID tests. That'll piss you off. But then, Hillary's planning a little something right now for Bill. And it ain't a surprise party. I'll tell you what it is next on the Wendy Bell radio program. It's an official go away forever party. Oh, I got a little fussy there, didn't I? Sorry. You know who didn't get their part of the $36 billion spent on advertising from pharma last year? Us. Every paper, every magazine article, every TV show, everything, all sponsored by these stupid companies. Until that happens,
it's the same
until you get PAC money out of elections,
it's the same with political money.
Get it all out.
We took no political money.
Get it all out. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I did once.
Eric,
what's his face? Nelson. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was it.
And that was because we were just starting. To be honest with you, we needed the money.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a good guy. I mean, I wasn't deceiving anybody, but now it'd be like, you can't afford me. You can't afford this show.
So this weekend we will be getting. Someone asked about the Zippos. We'll be getting everything but the shirts. There's so many shirts that they are just not.
We'll get them.
They're not done yet.
We'll get them.
But how fitting the Fauci candles will be in. So probably take about a week. So not this Friday, but the Friday after that, we'll probably do the drop of Fauci candles, Zippos. We're putting more mugs in the store. We're putting in Second Amendment commemorative gifts, the third one. We also did get a few, not a lot. I think maybe 10 of the first and second one. So if you're new and you didn't get the first or second one, you can get them.
We're talking about
the Second Amendment commemorative gift. Yes.
When you know, you know.
Yes.
This is the second iteration, Second Amendment.
Which one's that? Is that the North is Still North?
This is
that was the first one. So the first one, you can't see it.
I know.
The first one has the actual Second Amendment. There you go. On it. The Second Amendment commemorative gift has the pledge. No. Clarence Thomas's North is Still North. And then this third one will have the Pledge of Allegiance on it. I think they look, as the kids would say, lit. We still have a few of those.
Slade coasters. You know how I feel about these. This is it.
Yeah, we still have tumblers.
You know, if you order these, I say your name usually. Not like that matters, but I love these. They're fantastic. I use them every single day. Every single day. Slate coasters, square, circle, fantastic. They're fantastic. And nope. We're going to have to do more rocks glasses at some point too, probably. They're so nice. Oh my God, I look like a psycho right now. Sorry, guys. It's like people's bad behavior is getting increasingly more barbaric, and we're supposed to just say this is the new normal. I'm sorry, I can't. Because it's not normal. It's barbaric. And barbarism needs to be called out. You are not around polite society anymore. Goodbye. To Seacott you go. Poof. Wait. Poof. Who else steals their son's Harry Potter wand for props? Right? Did you just sigh?
No. I took a deep breath.
Sire. Time before I trust the science again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Of course, you remember the earliest days of COVID, where the thing that you looked at the most it was like a pregnancy test, except it gave you the stripe, and the stripe didn't mean you were knocked up. It meant you had COVID, right? Remember those PCR tests? Yeah, about those. Sort of like the vaccines that they pushed upon our children and still do with the childhood vaccination registry schedule, all that stuff, and they never tested any of those for safety because that makes sense. They knew that the PCR tests didn't work at all. That 86% of the time, of all positive tests, 86% of all positive tests were wrong. Did you guys know that? So when you tested positive and you're like, that's so weird, I have no symptoms. Right? I'm not bleary-eyed. I don't feel hot. I don't have a cough. My smell isn't weird. Like, I'm fine. I felt lousy. I felt like somebody ran me over with a truck when I had COVID. And we had to power through the show. Right? We did it. I got it, and then he got it 2 weeks later. We felt terrible, and you soldier through it, and you're like, woo! Sort of like a badge of honor. You made it, right? Well, 86% of the time we were testing ourselves, all of the positives were bogus. In-depth news, Europe reports this. 86% of all positive PCR tests were wrong. 3 German researchers have published a study claiming that based on official data, only 1 in 7 positive PCR tests during the corona period actually corresponded to a real infection. The paper underwent peer review and was published in the specialist journal Frontiers in Epidemiology. According to the article, Germany's Federal Ministry of Health and the Robert Koch Institute have not contradicted the study's content. So we knew. The paper by Professor Harold Wallach and 2 other guys hits like a second meteor today. We've had a few, in fact. Only 14% of positive PCR tests reflected a genuine COVID infection. And according to that interpretation, the pandemic was only demonstrable because of the millions of tests conducted. People weren't sick. They weren't feeling sick. But oh my gosh, positive tests. Holy smokes. This just in. Allegheny County reporting a record number of infections. Stay home, stay calm, stay safe, and vote for mail for Joe Biden. Click, right? I remember my son, Bobby, testing positive, no symptoms. And after the test came back, he disappeared. I didn't know where he went. And I opened the door to the basement steps, and he had his face in his hand, and he was bawling. Bobber, what's wrong? You don't feel bad. You're okay. Mom, I tested positive, and I can't play in the basketball tournament now. For a little boy, that is the world. That's just one experience with those loser liars who got the tests from where? China. Make that make sense. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with this. Hillary Clinton apparently is planning Bill's funeral. I know. Nothing says I love you, honey. Like, what kind of casket do you want? Do you like mahogany, or do you want to just go straight into the inferno fire? One way or another, we'll get it done. Hillary Clinton reportedly planning Bill Clinton's funeral as the 80-year-old ex-president's health concerns mount. Aw. That's odd pillow talk, don't you think? How you
Hey,
doing?
honey.
How you feeling?
What would you like us to serve?
How about now? You still feeling good? Just drink this. It's going to make you feel nice and comfy.
I made you a special dinner.
Where's Toto the dog? Dead? Hillary Clinton has reportedly begun making plans for the eventual funeral of her husband. Bill Clinton, his concerns continue to mount over the 80-year-old's health. Radar Online reported that Hillary, 78, herself looking like death warmed over, I added that, sorry, has started arranging an elaborate memorial service while Bill is allegedly reviewing his estate and making potential changes to their reportedly $120 million will. Gosh, I remember when they left office allegedly penniless. All of the lawfare stuff against them, got no money. So weird. Huh.
Maybe they could donate to Tony Fauci.
I hate everyone. I know. I really don't, but I kind of do. I love you guys. It's great to be with you. We'll see you tomorrow on the Wendy Bell Radio program. Peace.